Picture Gamer, and this is, can I never get this right? And this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Discovery Series, and we are in Florida. Hello, welcome in. Good evening, people. So, we are in Florida. You can see I'm using a slightly different map today, as you can see. I don't know how good it is. It doesn't look fantastic. It looked better on my other thing than it does, but well, we'll see how we get on with it. You know, we'll see how we go about it. So we are in Florida, just close to Cape Canaveral, in a place called Titusville. It's a small airport there. I'll give you a quick look around outside. I'm just going to turn off the preview on my OBS, and I'll put that down. So yeah, we're not too far from Cape Canaveral. Actually, I can't do that now because I've flown it all the way away. Well, we'll have a look at Cape Canaveral anyway when we fly out. I think we're going to be departing to the north. I don't know why it's going to depart us to the north, but we'll see. Low clouds today. I'm going to see how we get on with them. Doesn't look like they're moving. There's a little bit of bad weather off out to sea, but we'll see whether we have to deal with any of that and whatnot coming up. So, I'm going to start the flight, but the first thing I'm going to do before I start the flight is I'm going to post this into my Discord. I'll actually check if we're actually properly up and running. Because I don't even know if I'm live. Did I even check it? I normally check it quite quickly. Yeah, I am. Okay, so copy link. Get into Discord. Where is it? Discord. There we go. I'm going to go into Discord and I'm going to share. Discord would load, and well, we can get certain things started while we're here. So I'll turn that on. We'll go not the engine start. Go up. Bam. Now, if you have a look at my screens today, the Garmin screens, they actually load up now. They didn't load up before, and if you notice the center one where it says Garmin G3000, it's currently off, and I'm going to show you some things to do with that today, which I'm really pleased with. Now, if the video gets choppy on YouTube, you can always switch over to Twitch. Ineffectual Gamer at Twitch. Okay. Okay. So my car system is working okay. That's good. Good to know. If you really observant, you'll see this looks very different as well. There's a lot of kind of little changes to it, which maybe we wouldn't have had before, and I'll go through that in a moment. All of that I'm going to go through with you before we even take off. So hey Brian, how's it going? I hope you're alright. So all of this I'll take you through, this new stuff, because this new stuff is going to make this so much better. And I'm still doing the around the world thing, but it's going on hold for a short while. The reason it's gone on hold is because mods are now starting to come in thick and fast. There's payware even, not that I'm going to spend a ton on payware for this game, but there is every now and again there's just a bit of payware where you're like, no, I have to have that. So, you know, payware's starting to come out now, and I think going into the next year, we're going to have much more payware and many more mods. Some of the mods are getting ridiculous. I know somebody's put the whole of Manchester into it. Why? I don't know. I'm only joking. But in all seriousness, it seems like people are really getting into the whole modding thing, and I think that's nothing but good. So I'm gonna stay off for a second. For a while of doing the round the world trip, and I'll continue it where we picked up off. I just wanna see more mods come in and whatnot before I do that. Okay, so Discord is done. So I'm gonna put my phone just here. Got my little pen. Okay, so Yeah, so I found a mod for this plane which changes the plane a little bit. Now there was other mods which I was able to download, but some of it means messing around with code, and I haven't really done that in a while in a game, and I just didn't want to mess up my flight simulator and have to reinstall. So some of them I'm going to hold off on in the hope that actually um, Asobo Studios themselves will fix, because they know these problems are in the list, so they'll probably try and fix these things themselves. So I'm going to go switch on these lights. Now I don't know if this does it. Yes, it does. So can you see that the lettering and everything is dimming? How cool is that? And it gets brighter if I turn it up. Now we can actually do that as well in here. We can go into MFD, I think. Aircraft systems, lighting configuration. Yeah, and then we can bring it all the way down to 0, all the way up. And it just means that you get the kind of your buttons at the right thing, because I think sometimes in night flight these buttons can be really kind of they can be a bit too intrusive. I was going to say obtrusive there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is going to turn on the Garmin system. So press that button and it comes into play. It looks like some of these screens have kind of changed, but I'm not sure if it's because Florida's really flat and there's no mountains here. Before I was in a mountainous area, so yeah, this has kind of changed as well. You're able to set this up in a different way. So I've kind of set this map now up to how I want to see it. So that's very different from how it was before in a way. You can actually see more things now, so you can see different waypoints. You can see towns as well. So Port St. John there. So that's really cool as well. So I'm enjoying that. And then you go into the MFD menu now, and there's so many different things. Even the weather selector, you can change that a little bit. There's just so many different things here now that you can actually change. So we're going to turn all these on as well. So these are going to appear in our speed gauge here to tell us when this is the rotate one, and then these are for, I actually don't know what those are for. I'm guessing they're for flaps, but why there'd be two? I don't know. And then that one's for your landing, for your approach. So I'm going to have all them on as well. They're going to help. And I'm going to just, there's one more, but it's not speed bugs, is it? No, because I've just been there, you div. It might be on PDF settings. Oh yeah, so this is the map settings. So this, you can change all these map things in here. So it's terrain absolute. We can have it terrain relative, or off. No, actually, is that one? It might be that one actually. It might be off. Okay, let's put terrain absolute. Oh no, that's on that little map. Okay, it's on the little map. Sorry. Orientation heading up. Map sync. You can map sync them all, so they're all like the same thing. Why you do that, I don't know, but maybe you can just put different settings on different things. But it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go back. And there's other little bits and bobs you can do. Angle of attack, obviously, wind option 3. I like wind option 3 because it appears. Oh Christ! I think it's actually moved. Ah, no, that's ground speed. Oh, I'll have to discover where the wind one is. It normally appears somewhere around here, but it seems to have moved. Well, no problems. No problems there. And I think that's about it for setting it up, and I'm gonna try and get moving soon. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Oh, what was that one there? So nav source. So can I change that to FMS? And it should change automatically on the screen to active FMS. That's cool. I'm actually learning these ones at the moment as well, and I will start introducing these, the nav 1 and whatnot, into my flights, because they can make landings even easier than they are now if you're doing it properly. So I'd really like to do that. Right, so the weather we've got today, you can see it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs. No, you can see we've got some broken parts here, so this is pretty nice. There was a lot of cloud over earlier when I first dropped in, but now it's kind of moving on a little bit. We're probably going to actually fly this one quite low. And when I say quite low, I mean pretty low. I think we're probably going to do 2,000 feet. 2,200, I think. 2,200. So I'm going to set that first. So I need to be able to see. So I'll just move my chat screen for a second while I do this. So I'll go 2,200. We're going to set the nav in place. We'll set a vertical speed of 1,000. We'll go 1,500 for the time being. What have you been up to today, Brian, by the way? Just while I'm talking shite. So we're gonna, so you can see our speed is going to be 1,500 feet per second, and we're going to go to per minute. I'd love to do it per second, and then we're going to climb up to 2,200. So, and the reason we're going to keep it low is because we're going to fly over some areas and have a really good look. So, as I said, we're going to fly over Cape Canaveral, so we'll have a look at the NASA building and whatnot. So that should be cool. And then we'll fly over the SpaceX part as well. And then we'll trot on down. Oof, I haven't even got my list, and I should have got my list. I might do it once we're airborne. I'll check it out. It's just above me somewhere, but it's mixed up with some other things because I haven't put them aside yet. So, well, that's that, right? Okay, so we are we're pretty much ready to go here. So we're going to do the checklist. Okay, so. Well, don't get as drunk as I was last night, Brian, will you? So we're going to put it for pilot and passenger, and I think it's still going to be relatively warm here in Florida, so I'm going to keep it pretty cool, keep the AC cool. I'm going to put the circuit breaker light on just because it looks better, and we'll have the this is hot airflow. I don't know if it's on about the hot air or whatever, but like we'll set it just to the windows for now. Okay, so. We can start by actually talking to the air traffic control and giving them our information. So listen to that one. Oh, you only have to announce your taxi. Okay, that's fine. I'll do that in a moment then. Right. So one thing I want to do is I think it's been fixed, but I don't want to risk it too much, is the VFR map. So I'm going to open it just to make sure, because I think last time, and we'll have, I might give AI the control of the radio a little bit later on. Don't necessarily want to give them it now. It's got FMS, VS, 1,500, 2,200. Okay, that's exactly what we're going to be. So we're going to go auxiliary BP on. Fuel selector auto select, and we'll go for the we need the strobe on, and we're going to go for a starter. Okay, let's look down here. Looking for this to get around, I can't remember whether it's around 50 or something, or 31, sorry, and then I push it up into, no, not into that one, come on, across there, into low idle, and then once it gets into 50, push it into the, well, no, I knew I'd mess up this one. Right, okay, so put it into low idle, hopefully that's not messed off the, okay, so okay, that looks good. Okay, so we'll go to auto and the BMP to auto. Okay, and that should be as good to go. We should have a clear cast apart from the parking brake. Okay, so that's us set up now. I just want to have a look at the guy. I'm going to have to cut his head off. Might be able to swing around without cutting his head off, and I might actually then crash into that van, but I don't feel comfortable with a pushback here. Actually I do now. There was stuff behind us earlier, so I wasn't feeling comfortable with a pushback, so I'll request a pushback. Hey Alistair, how's it going? Bit of a headache earlier on. Zip off now. So he's going to come in. Normally I'd get pushed back before the engine start, otherwise you're going to moor her face off. But just bear with me for today. I didn't want to do the pushback originally, now I want to do it, so... Myself and Ella's car actually did this flight on a clear day, just testing the weather. See, that van's coming past straight behind me now. He wasn't there before, was he? I'm not going mad. So I'll let her do a bit of a pushback, and just slight pushback, and then before we hammer the back of that van, I'll do it. Still looks a bit broken, the tug, but never mind. She'll jump to the front suddenly. Zzz. There you go. Don't want to lose my stuff that's on my leg. Okay, so I'll just stop the pushback there. Like I said, it wasn't a big pushback. We'll let her bugger off, and then we'll start off the journey. So we have nav set. Yeah, your damper you normally turn on when you're airborne, but I can do it now. I don't think it can have an effect on anything. I don't know so. But again, I've been watching a few videos to just try and get a bit better at doing all these procedures, and I do feel now like I'm not looking at any lists anymore, and I do feel like I'm getting everything correct. So I might do one or two things in the wrong order, and if anybody wants to give me shit for it, feel free to, but I'll try and do it in the right way at times. So let me just have a quick look at that and apply a bit of pressure, because the parking brake's off now. Won't cut her head off now. Hopefully we won't crash into this. I said a very strange click there. I don't know if it's because I've got the... I don't know if it's not the parking brake. I don't know what it is that's causing that. Could be a conflict with the ground or something. Sometimes there's little conflicts within the game, but yeah, that's really weird. Please don't continue doing that, because we might have bumped that plane or something actually. So let's go to ATC. Announce the taxi.
X-ray 21 traffic in effectual gamer 907 is taxiing to runway tree.
So we've told him. Not as much as we need to do, I guess. We are going to runway 33, as you kind of heard there. Okay, so we literally taxi straight onto the runway, which is cool. I mean, it's not even the runway, that part that we actually taxi onto. It's like a bit of its own taxiway of itself. So this isn't a handcrafted airport or anything. This is just an airport locally, and you can see there's traffic and weird buildings and stuff. That's totally normal when you're taking off from somewhere like this. I don't even know if this taxiway I'm following is an official taxiway. It looks like grass to me, but it's okay. We're all good. So, oh, I want to put my flaps down. You can do that normally at the threshold of the runway. Definitely do that with the landing lights, because I forgot to turn my taxi lights and landing lights on, which is a big no-no. I don't know if you have to have taxi lights on in the daytime. I don't ever remember being on board a plane and seeing other planes with their taxi lights turned on in the daytime, but I think procedure says you're supposed to. So we will go put on our pulse and our nav lights. Okay, and we are ready to go, so we can announce that we're departing straight out, I think.
X-ray 21 traffic in effectual gamer 907 taking off runway tree straight out departure.
Okay, so I'm just going to close in a little bit there, because I want to have a pretty good view when we're taking off. Yeah, I streamed a little bit too long last night. Not just streaming too long, I mean because of the drink. I think I need to stop drinking on a Friday as well. I've got too much time to drink on a Friday. I arrive home from work, I'm always like, right, I'll have a drink. I think I started drinking at 5 last night and I ended up, what, 1:30 or something, I finished the stream, so I had consumed a fair amount of alcohol by that point. A little bit too much, I think. So I need to kind of cut it right down on Friday. This looks a bit slow, this runway. Okay, and we are ready to go. The engines are too high. Oof, that was a bit of a rough takeoff. Okay, we'll just get a steady climb. We're going to go due north first. Just bring up the landing gear. Bring up the flaps in a second. Okay, just going to fly due north a little bit more. And then I'm going to make the turn towards... pull back on the engines because speed is not a huge thing. I want to keep it around. I'm going to try and get it around 120 or something. So now here we are going to be flying into, technically into airspace we shouldn't be going into. I'm going to go external, I think. Oh shit, I don't know what I've got. I've got my, I was holding this the wrong way around. Okay, so this is kind of like Nasser Island. Just going to try and straighten this camera up a little bit. It's kind of like Nasser Island here, so we're gonna try not to lose too much altitude. We don't want to gain too much either, so we're gonna try and find that nice spot. Now this runway ahead of us, you can just see on my right wing, you can see the strobe for the landing. Now this strobe wouldn't be active because it's active in the game because it doesn't know any different, but this is actually the runway that the space shuttles land on when they do land here, if they don't land in Texas. Now, when I flew around with this a while ago with Alad's car, I didn't have this mod installed. So the mod install I've got now puts the landing facility, and I think it has the mobile launcher there. There's something else just off at the edge. I've forgotten what else it has on it. We'll definitely go and have a bit of a mooch. The accessible floating car, yeah. Nah, you know the bridges. I actually downloaded a fix for the ones in New York, because I fly in New York a lot. Love flying over New York. New York would be my second home if I was rich. Even now. I love that city. Okay, so I am going to get as kind of as low down as I can get so you can have a good look at the facility. You'll see there's two markers there. One of them is the main building, the main hangar where they house the rocket, and then the one just to the left of it is where is the mobile launcher. I don't mind doing some crazy stuff in this plane today because we're just basically having a look. So we'll tune to Orlando approach. Just hopefully we'll get IFR. I can't actually ask for IFR clearance, I've just remembered, because I didn't change the altitude, so we'll do it without radio contact today. maybe only contact the airport when we're arriving and ask for clearance to land. So you can see now there's more buildings here. Well, I'm saying you can see, you've never been here before, but from when Elisgar and I played, these buildings were kind of pretty crappy. But here you can see very clearly the mobile launcher there on the left, and then the vehicle assembly building here, which I will swing the camera around just to give you an idea of it as we go past. I am trying to fly as close and as slow as I possibly can here. This is highly illegal, but it's in a make-believe world. So there you can see the NASA launch building. That's pretty cool. You can see there, you can see the mobile launcher, and then you can see the road there that goes out to the launch pad. So we're going to go to the launch pad. Now when I did this with Elisgar before, we didn't go out to the launch pad, I don't think. And this road seems to have been made much more visible than it was the last time I played. Because if I remember right, the last time I played this, we were trying to work out where the road was, and you couldn't necessarily do it easily. So you can see here it goes to one of there's 2 launch facilities here. And I think, I don't know, we'll have to do a flyby and get an idea of it, but so that's the main one. That's the main one. Yeah, 39B. I'm guessing the other one's 39A. The other one, in which I'm going to pull off a terrifying manoeuvre for any passengers on board this ship. We'll give it a... I'm dead serious. I've always been a fan of the teams. I don't know, just I like the city. Always have done. Yeah, this is Launch Complex 39A, but I don't think they use this one as much. I don't think this is the main one. Maybe they use this for satellites and things rather than the space shuttles. Now, I don't say that with any knowledge of or authority. Is there no sound or something, Brian? Because you just said have you noticed something yet? Don't say stuff like that. It scares me. It scares me as to what I might have done. So, we're going to head out over here, I think. And then we'll fly back towards the route. Okay. So I'll engage the autopilot and we'll be able to go back towards the route. So now here, I think it's here. One of these is the... Yeah, okay, it's over there, the SpaceX landing zone. I thought it was one of these, actually. So we'll fly over there. I haven't put trousers on. I have, yeah. So we got the SpaceX landing zone 1 and 2. I'm actually just wondering about the whether I can just link up with the next thing. So so I think the SpaceX rockets are down there. Like they've popped in. Okay, yeah, you can see the SpaceX rockets. That's pretty cool. So whoever made this mod, hats off to them, because you can see the 2 SpaceX rockets. That is so good. I love it. Okay. It says here Mercury Redstone rocket, which I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. But we'll go down and have a look. Alright, okay, yep. I wonder if that must be maybe the site of one of the really early rocket launches or something. Because I can't imagine that's current. It might be. Okay, so we'll make the turn to go back to our... we'll go back to our navigation point. Only a few miles away, and then we can actually, and I can actually ramp up the engine slightly here as well. Now that we're kind of going back to the nav point, because otherwise we're going to be way off point here. So clouds coming in again. It's not slurring. Get lost. At all. Yeah, don't want to be that messy. So I'm gonna fly parallel to here, and then when I go past it, I think actually because I'm a bit high here, we'll fly back towards the NASA center. That'll give me a point of reference, and then I'll click in the autopilot. Ah, oh, Brian, you've given it away. You've given it away. I think. But then no, you wouldn't have noticed that. Right, okay. So now I'm here. I don't actually know what you're talking about, Brian. I'm just wondering if you're talking about the fuel. Because when I'm using a certain thing, I turn the fuel back on, but it doesn't matter. I can... the fuel I was thinking about, because I didn't know if you could actually see it. And then when I was outside... Oh, no, I think you can see it from the outside view, can't you? Fuel? Yeah. So that's what you're talking about, but it's alright, I can turn on the unlimited fuel. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the autopilot now. He'll bring us down a few hundred feet, so we're at correct altitude. Waypoint now. Well, it might actually take us to the second waypoint. Or will it straighten up here? No, it's going to take us to the second one. Okay, so now the reason I've chosen 2200 is just to keep under this cloud, because otherwise it's going to be crap. I don't mind flying with the actual weather. I don't mind actually flying with the actual weather, just as long as it's that you can still kind of see. Oh, I don't know if it is the fuel you were talking about, Brian, because I think I've got it on unlimited. I think. Okay, so there's a submerged bridge that Alice guy was talking about. So yeah, I should have a look for these papers. So give us a second. In fact, I hope I've still got them, because I didn't plan on doing them for a while, and they're a mess. I don't even know if I've got the right pages here. Oh, that's good. Ripped one of the pages already, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so it's not that one. It's not that one either. Some great flights, by the way, that I've got lined up. If I haven't lost the okay, here we go. That's one page. One page. Well, right, that's 2 pages. Oh crap! I think I've misplaced some of the pages. Definitely have. Dagnammit. So, well, I've got. Oh no, maybe I've got it all. Okay, no, I've got it all. Okay. So, let's make sure we're flying our flight plan and everything. So let me just go external again, because we've got everything set to autopilot now, so we don't really need to worry about all that. So this is called the Space Coast. And that part in particular that we've just flown over, of course, is the famous NASA space landing strip and all the different points. I think they've fixed some of these bridges as well, you know. So we are now heading, if I remember, we're going to pass Melbourne Airport, but I don't know if we've actually passed Melbourne Airport. And we're passing Merritt Island. And then we're gonna head like kind of south, and then we're gonna come inland. I'm loving this weather. I've got a plugin which reads local weather things, and it produces better results than the computer does, than the in-engine one does. I think the in-engine one's pretty good, but it doesn't build up different levels. It seems to only build up one level. So. Is that in reference to this, Brian, or are you in reference to your I can't remember what you say now. In reference to your secret. So, just woken up. So it seems sometimes when you're looking at stuff from inside the cockpit, it doesn't load it in quite well, but if you look at it from outside, it loads it a little bit better. Can't wait till I can afford my next graphics card upgrade, because this graphics card does a pretty good job, but I was watching the in-house Asobo video earlier of North America, and I was pretty jealous. Pretty darn jealous. Ah, right, okay. In reference to, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in reference to some other flights I've got some great flights. One going from Bryce Canyon, not going to Bryce Canyon in Utah from Southern California. That should take us over some pretty major places. Going to do a trip through Yellowstone one day. I'm just waiting for a few more mods to become available for that. Fingers crossed. There is a paid passenger experience in the works as well, which means I'll start at my own commercial company, Ineffectual Airways, of course. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a skin done for that from somewhere. Got a few friends who are pretty good at using all that paint shop stuff, but I might actually give it a go myself as well and make an Ineffectual Gamer skin for the plane. But that'll probably be an A320, so I need to kind of wait for that to get fixed as well. So it's amazing how flat this is. By the way, at the end of this strip, if I'm once I'm finished in Florida, if it ends earlier, we'll go and have a look at some of the other smaller mods that I have, because there's a couple that I have that I haven't even tried out yet. So as long as the computer runs alright, I'll be able to show you them. So if we look at our VFR map here, you'll see if I go out a little bit, we're going to head all the way down here, and then we're going to cut inland. So you're going to see here that it cuts inland, and this is to go see the Pratt & Whitney factory, which is where they make the engine for this actual plane. So I'm going to try and give it just an angle where you actually get to see the beauty of this game. This is absolute craziness. If you've never played Flight Simulator before, I'll give you a reason as to why every simmer who streams is all going, oh my god, this is just so beautiful. If you were to have looked down there in the last iteration of the game, this river was probably quite straight and blue. Those streets would have looked the same. It would have just been straight lines everywhere, because the way it did it back then is they worked with this kind of mesh, which it would just tell the computer, okay, there's houses here. So the computer would just build the houses in those areas, and the roads would generally be quite straight, and sometimes with paid add-ons you could have some which were a little bit like this. But the fact that this game, because it's an aerial photograph and then the AI builds on top of it, it makes everything look so realistic, almost to a point. Now, you know, where I live, you can see what it failed to build my town properly because the AI cannot, it hasn't, maybe they haven't kind of programmed it with various buildings types and whatnot. Because I know the whole point, the Tokyo upgrade that they did recently was all about how the AI had been upgraded with like more Asian style buildings, so it knew what to build. Whereas I think Europe and the US at the moment, I think the buildings are very, very similar. But just when you look down there and you see the crookedness of some of those roads and how strange, and it really does just give you, it really makes you feel like you're almost there. And I'm guessing if you're running this in 4K at over 60 frames a second, you're just going to feel immersed. Now it is going to get VR support, you know, it is going to get VR support, which has really now got me considering VR, but I won't get down. I won't be going for any of the major ones. I'm probably going to go for just one that runs. Get down, or you will not stay in the room. I'll probably get a basic running one, and I don't know if I'll ever stream it, because I think I find VR streams quite nauseating, because you don't know the points that I'm concentrating on and stuff, so you kind of get thrown around by it. You see, we're out into a less densely populated area now, so you kind of got a lot more trees, which is not. Our frame rate's a little bit hit, and some people who are probably watching it probably going, wow, those frame rates are pretty low, but they've never been high in a flight simulator ever. The clouds add to it as well, because the clouds are volumetric, so, and they're at different layers, so even the ones you can't see are being computed. The flight characteristics, the flight model is constantly being fed information as well, so it does mean you get frame rate drops quite often. So at 42% now. But I'll turn on the unlimited fuel later on. But yeah, when you come up to an area like this, it's just amazing how this is how it kind of looks when you fly in, and go over a place that looks vastly different from the bit next to it. So I don't know, and this looks completely different from the playthroughs flying over before. No, you can see my townhouse, guys. Can't. The AI is built on top of it, and when it's built the buildings, it doesn't understand what it's building. But I assume they're going to fix that at some point. God knows what's going to happen with this couplet in here yet. Who knows? Don't even think about jumping on. I'll put you back down again. I'm not normally mean to the cat, but she's just been a bit of a pain today. I don't know why. Okay, so Sebastian Municipal flying over now. As far as I'm aware, we're going to fly down. We're flying down to Melbourne. Do you think we could get away with going a bit higher here? Do you think we'd get maybe a couple of 100 feet more? Should we give it a whack? We'll give it a whack. Let's set it to 3,000. We'll see how we do at 3,000. We'll do it with a flight level change so that it does it pretty softly. Just keep an eye on that. See, this part as well, this is just completely different from the part we just flew by. That's what I'm loving about it. Every single place you go to just feels slightly different from the other. Another good thing about this is that the seat is adjustable very easily, so we can just pop ourselves up a bit higher in the cockpit for that kind of slightly better view. I think we can actually afford to put the engines up a bit here as well. Get it up to 98, I think. Right, I'll leave it on that for the moment, see how it deals with that. I love the fact that there's just a little dirt bit on the window there that I want to rub off. Nope, there we go, torque's gone up again, there you go. I don't know why. It's doing some strange manoeuvres to get up to 3,000 feet, but yeah, 3,000 feet hasn't really affected us that much. It does give us a better view, I think. So you get some type of horse ranch there, because that's definitely not a racing track. So they've just got the training track and everything there. A lot of horse racing in Florida. See these kind of areas that are built around these kind of... I'm guessing they're not man-made water areas. I'm guessing they just built houses around and kind of shaping up some stuff. So this is very regional. So you said, as I said, I didn't want to be too high because we get up to the clouds then, and I don't want the clouds interfering too much. So we're probably going to have to just come down. I think we're probably going to have to come down about 200 feet. I'll do that with a flight level change as well, just so that we don't... Now, flight level change is just a way that it kind of... The plane looks at how fast you're going and says, okay, I can climb at this amount of feet per minute because you're doing this speed. And it'll try and maintain whatever your current speed is. Now, you can see we're very close to overspeeding here. But we are going down, that's why. So we'll be picking up a bit of speed as we're going down. But now it's dropping down anyway. So, but we're not going to overspeed. It's actually quite hard to overspeed this aircraft, unless your nose down engine's on full whack. Now, usually I play around with these screens, but as I was saying before, I've had a couple of crashes when I'm playing with them, so I like to set everything up for flight and then go fly and try not to worry too much about them. So yeah, now we've dropped about 200 feet. We're off we're off that kind of limit of the clouds, and it's pretty much great visibility. Just overcast, just an overcast day. So this is Treasure Coast International. We're coming up on now. We haven't got a curfew here that I'm aware of. Have they got a curfew in Scotland, Brian? I know they do in Wales. As far as I'm aware here, we haven't got a curfew. That's in like Madrid and stuff. None of this is going to slow it down, by the way. Not while it is how it is at the moment. It's not going to slow it down at all. Now, naturally, this the great thing about this plane is its nose is below the horizon. So generally, the nose is on the horizon. So any plane you're flying, the nose will be here. But this plane is built for its aerodynamics. If you actually look from the outside, you can see the nose slopes down and away from the cockpit, which gives you this great view out the window, which almost no other plane can give you. And it actually, I mean, for a pilot, it must be fantastic because you can see pretty much where you're flying. I always think that one of the reasons I don't fly some of the planes is because unless you go to the outside view, you kind of sat inside just looking at a big panel. And I prefer to have this kind of view and then just be able to look down and around at the panels. So now you'll notice I haven't turned my landing lights off because technically we should have them on. Under, I think it's under 8,000 feet or something. We're supposed to have them on. So. Pretty cool riding the clouds like this because we're coming out into some sun here, and then I'm guessing we're going to get overcast. The good thing about this this little add-on that I'm using is it reads the reports ahead of you, so it will load in the weather as you're arriving. And I've noticed on a few flights you really don't notice the weather changing. Can you see the watercolour changing and everything here because it's got sun on it? It was very dark back there, now it's just getting a much more kind of bluey green colour. I love it. I really do. So cool. I think I don't know what they flew this in. It says it's 2 hours and 25 minutes this flight time. I don't know, you know. So we're waiting to go to Whitton Field, where we'll make our turn. So you can see it on the map here. You can see just there, Jensen Beach, and then Stewart is where we're going to make the turn. So it's actually coming up very, very soon where we're going to make the turn. Very soon indeed. So I will go external again for just a second. So to see that whole cape and how it runs down there, it's really strange. I mean, not strange if you're American or you live in Florida, it's probably completely normal. But to me it feels a little strange. See this massive, what must be a marina over there. Can't be houses, I don't think. It must be a massive marina. Now it's built, the AI's built houses on that for sure. That's a marina. So this must be just these areas must be just an absolute party on a weekend, because it's cut off from the sea, so you're not going to have like constant waves or anything. Get your jet skis out, get your speedboats out. Oh, you're going to be having fun. Nope, no alcohol tonight. No alcohol tonight. Probably no alcohol tomorrow night now. Off. I didn't even start getting back to normal till about 5 PM. And it's half your day's gone on a weekend. Getting a bit too old for it. I cut it down a little bit. Because I had white wine, red wine. I don't know if I had beer last night. I don't think I did. White wine, red wine, and about... Well, that was... I think that was about half full last night, and it's a litre bottle. It's not a 750. I think it was half full last night, and I only intended to have a couple. So we're making a turn now, and we're going to go towards Whitton Field. Where we'll fly over Pratt and Whitney. 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so Tropical Plantation coming up, which is the Naked Lady Ranch. Only in Florida. But Florida man owns that. We are 38%, right. I'll let it go down a bit more and then we'll stick it on unlimited. Now when I do the passenger missions and stuff, now then you normally do have to calculate your fuel and whatnot. And so that's why I was saying I wasn't sure if I had my fuel on or off, because when you're doing that you have to calculate the fuel. But for these flights I don't want to have to. I don't want to for any long distance stuff. I don't want to calculate any flights. When I was saying the passenger stuff, I won't necessarily be doing any of those on live streams until there's an add-on, a specific add-on that comes out. At the moment, I'm using a website thing. It has a thing which connects to your simulator, and it sends data back and forth when you've completed the flight and how much fuel you've used and stuff like that. And it gives you some pretty good passengers to take. But the only thing is it is limited in certain ways because it's a real economy, a real world economy within the game, and So, for example, this plane that I like to fly, and that I've basically been using it for all the time, you can only fly from certain airports and do certain things because there's only, you have to rent them at the beginning. And there's only certain airports where you can rent them from, so you can only do, like, you kind of have to do the same types of things over and over and over and over again, and it's a bit boring. I flew a couple in a Cessna, and then I think I flew one in the Beechcraft as well, but it's not cheating because I'm not doing these trips for the skills or skills. Right, so we're passing Gwyn. I can see the water up ahead, so I'm just trying to look at where Pratt Whitney is. We haven't passed it that I'm aware of. Sometimes it's just the little things pop up really quickly. I remember we flew right over it. I think it was once I got to this water edge and redirected back towards the coast, I was trying to control my speed so Ellisgar could catch up to me, because I think I'd gone too far ahead. I'm going to fly over the Everglades one day as well, that should be... I'm pretty sure this is Pratt & Whitney factory here, all of this. It's just not showing for some reason, and I don't know why it isn't showing. But I'm pretty sure it is from when we were here last time. It's either here or it's over there, but I think it's here because you fly directly over the top of it, so I'm guessing that's it. It could be here, we'll see. I don't know exactly when we make the turn back, but that looks like the water's edge there. And in actual fact that is the water's edge there, so the map didn't say, so yeah, I think that was the Pratt & Whitney factory. So we're now heading to Palm Beach. But it says complete with a racetrack. That didn't have a racetrack that I could see, so I'm not sure. It says dark forested gladed area, which is this, for sure, and it's sat in the middle, and that was sat in the middle of the dark forested area. Now we're going to come to farmland, so no, that was the Pratt & Whitney factory where we passed. You see the artifact there of some clouds kind of burnt into it, can you see? You'll notice some lands off code. That's because when the satellite image was taken there was a cloud. And liking that effect here, I didn't see this before, where the sun's trying to get through the clouds, so it's kind of creating a haze. And you get a bit of haze from the clouds anyway, but not to that extent. That's really cool. So all this is beautiful farmland here, I love it. How coloured it is. You can see there where there's been a cloud as well. I actually heard somebody near my house in there doing a low flying aircraft, but it was at an ungodly hour of the night, so I don't know if they were lost or something and they were trying to get low down to see where they were, but it was, whatever it was really low. And it was at a time of night where there's no regular airport traffic. So somebody did a video the other day on the internet showing the cabin bobbing up and down, and although it is bobbing up and down a little bit, I don't think it's as bad as some people make out. I think, you know, we're flying kind of on the edge of the cloud here, so this bouncing is caused by the clouds themselves. So when you hit in the cloud, it causes it to bounce, which does happen in real life, and I do like that it does it in this game, because it kind of wakes you up a little bit sometimes. Okay, there we go, Palm Beach. Okay, so we're now going to follow the Hillsborough Canal. It's going to take us to Boca Raton. So this is Palm Beach County Glades. So I'm not sure if this is part of the Everglades or something, because I really don't actually know where the Everglades are. If anybody's a better drug trafficker. It could have been. Could have been. You never know. Could have been. They were flying low, that's all I know. A bit dangerous flying low here though, because there's too many hills around. We don't have hazard markers on any of the hills here or anything, so. Okay, so here's the canal. Right here. I do believe. Kind of fly alongside it. Wait, if I remember rightly. Or maybe that's not actually the canal, maybe that's just one of the smaller ones that connects to it. You see this massive motorway down there? Traffic. Gotta love that. Must be a strange place to drive. It's just flat and green. Very few buildings or anything. I love the fact that the traffic moves on the road. When you kind of, if you go close into it and you're paying too much attention to it, you notice its flaws and mistakes. But when you're at a certain height and it's kind of just in your peripheral vision or whatnot, and you're seeing the cars moving around, it really adds to it. So yes, so we're flying along the. Here's the canal here. If I think, yeah, looks like it. So we're going to follow this canal here all the way to Boca Raton. Now, even though this comes as a flight plan, there is actually you can fly it VFR as well. So I've got like all the headings and distances and everything, and the estimated time of getting there. Where they grow most of the oranges and stuff. What the heck is that? It's a building of some type. Really strange. It looked like it had grass on its roof. Now I think at some point we do fly over Miami. But, oh yes, we do. When we fly over Miami, I might disengage the autopilot for a short time because I want to have a look at some mods that I've put in. So because I've placed this, I've placed one of the football stadiums there. a hotel, a particular hotel, but I don't know if that hotel's in Miami or Orlando, so I might not actually get to see that because we're not passing Orlando. I know where the football stadium is, so it should be visible from the plane. I didn't realise we'd come that far inland, or it didn't feel like we'd come that far inland. But we have. I mean, we're pretty far in. Just look at the central part of Florida here. Completely. Nope. This must be the Everglades here. Like this area must be. Because you can see like all the bits of land and waterway. That must be where the Everglades are. I don't know how the Everglades are actually represented in this. How well they're represented, I mean. Because it's quite. I'm guessing it must be quite hard to map that in. So are all my markers and everything working correctly, by the way? I didn't have a look. Enable preview. Okay, so speed 261 knots. Okay, indicated airspeed. Okay, that's 247. So speed is our ground speed. IS our indicated airspeed. That's the speed we work off. Then the other one that keeps changing is vertical speed, so just feet per minute. But because of the wind and stuff, we get bobbed up and down. Our current altitude was 2,770 feet. It's about 30 off what it should be, but I'm guessing it doesn't matter a whole load. And now you'll have noticed, and I'm hoping you've noticed, the clouds have cleared up. Did you notice them disappearing? Now we're getting to the hottest part of the day, so I'm guessing they do dissipate in the morning. I think I'm flying at what, 2 PM local time or something in Florida, Alan's car? I don't know. But did you notice them just dissipate? Or did they disappear? Did they just disappear? I never notice it when the weather changes, but it does seem to change. Because it was definitely cloudier a minute ago, so we can see some clouds by the coastline over there. So we're still following the canal. Now because we're flying at such a low level, it is taking us a little bit longer to get to our desired destination. Well, this must be like the Everglades as well. Look at it, that looks more like what we expected. But I don't know how close to Miami they are or anything. I really don't. Zero idea. Okay, so we are approaching Boca Raton. Pompano Beach will be the first place we pass, so we'll actually fly past the airfields. There's a lot of golf courses and stuff around there, and canals. And then we'll go past Fort Lauderdale, which Fort Lauderdale I only remember because of the movie Flight of the Navigator. Remember that one from the 80s about the little boy who gets taken away by aliens, and then the alien comes back to get some star charts, I think, out of his head or something. And that's set in Fort Lauderdale and the NASA facility as well. Some trees and stuff popping in now. I expect stuff to pop in these areas. I don't mind it. I still think this is the best flight simulator I've ever flown in, even for its bad parts. Okay, so we're coming up on the first golf course. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I haven't even touched on this game yet, and I've been flying a lot. I honestly haven't even touched on it. I've hardly played with the weather and stuff yet. I've just got this thing because it seemed to be doing it really well. I was testing it out in my local area today, and the weather outside and the weather that was in the simulator were exactly the same. You know, maybe distance a bit off, but if I was to look out the window, it was exactly the same. It was really, really good condition. But there's so many places to go over and fly over and look at, routes to follow. I mean, just famous VFR routes that I haven't even started looking at all of them yet, but there's plenty of options. And even my own, where I can plot my own routes, because I've got a couple of little websites that I can use now to actually build routes as well, and they work really, really well. And the simulator, thank God, the simulator picks up on them. The only thing is that you can't IFR some of them because it gets the altitudes mixed up. So yeah, we said there's going to be lots of golf courses, and there is. I can't believe how many golf courses there is here. Look at all of them. It's craziness. I bet they're all 18 haulers as well. Okay, so here's Boca Raton Airport, so we'll make a right turn here going southwest. And then fully to the south. Just seeing the school athletic fields and whatnot. It's so cool. That baseball stadium. That is a football stadium. And it's not the Florida Gators Stadium. That's a big stadium. Boca Raton. And so I don't know which university is in Boca Raton. University. It can only be a university football complex because it can't be anywhere else. Ah, FAU maybe. FAU football. Let's have a look. FAU football. Yeah, that was their stadium. So it is the Florida Atlantic Owls football team. They're not Division 1. Oh no, they are. Division 1 FPS. Oh, I've never heard of them before. I know most of my football teams, but well, it's not a competition. Okay, so this is Papano Beach Park. We're flying over now, and so we're heading south fully now. And this is when we're going to go towards Fort Lauderdale. So Fort Lauderdale's kind of just over here. I don't think the flight time is going to be too long to Fort Lauderdale. How long have I been airborne, would you say? Would you say an hour now? Not streaming, I mean airborne. Both might be a farm up actually. Okay, here we go. That's Fort Lauderdale. And when we fly down over Key West, that's what's going to really blow your mind. I mean, it's just beautiful down there. The water changes everything. It's amazing. It changes a lot. We'll go down to Fort Lauderdale. We'll pass. We're getting a couple of freezes now. It's understandable a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff loading in. Fingers crossed that Miami one doesn't take too long to load in, because it was about 200 odd megs of the other thing with these freezes, if they end up being too long, go over. If they end up being too long, they can mess seriously with the autopilot, because the autopilot's doing one thing and then it's doing another. You can see some weather coming in now, so we're coming into some weather. You see, you can actually see the clouds getting closer. That's pretty cool. Now, because we're in Fort Lauderdale, I was looking for a park. I'm guessing it's that park there that was in that movie that I was just talking about. We're moving so fast, it's hard to know who's in that park there, actually. We'll never know, will we? We'll never know. So yeah, there's just a ton of places I have yet to visit. Okay, that must be that one, Hollywood International. Yeah. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International is actually is a hub. I didn't know it was that big of an airport. Okay. Now, you shouldn't be allowed to cross an airport like this, but we are. I love how the clouds have come over again and we're now back into... And you can even see light shining through in this area, it's amazing. This might have been why we're getting the freezes, because it'll have been... All these aircraft are not... They're loaded in. So I think that's why we probably got the freeze, because it was loading all the aircraft for that airport. It's amazing what it's got to do, to be honest with you. I know a lot of it gets streamed. In, but I think it's like the trees and some of the stuff that gets streamed in. I think the things like the planes and whatnot, completely different kettle of fish. Stay away from me. Tell me, Cat, not doing it tonight. Not do this. So we're gonna fly out over Miami now. Miami's just over here. Let's get down. And when I was with Elledgar, I got a bit lost and couldn't quite tell when we were over Miami, but now you just got to look out for the big island. There's one of the racetracks, famous racetracks. Forgotten that it was used in a movie, I've forgotten the movie it was used in now. There's another one. I think here's the islands, you know, those famous islands in the middle of Miami. So we are moving at a hell of a rate here. I should really pull back a bit on the engine and just try and enjoy it a bit. We can always speed back up once we've had a good look around. So look at these kind of hotels. Green line on the coastline where the water spreads out a bit. All these massive buildings here. Look at that. Bit of copy and paste going on there by the AI by the looks of it. I don't know if it does that, if they actually look like that in real life. It does get some of them spot on, so it's maybe that they're actually a bit like that in real life. Here are these islands that I was talking about. If you ever played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, you'll remember these islands. I'm not sure if it's this island or this next part here. I think it's this next part here. And so in Grand Theft Auto, the bad guy's mansion was on one of them. Why is the VFR map going mental here? It's going crazy because it wants to, no? I don't know why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that, but... Another golf course. No wonder Trump likes it down in Florida. He's always making excuses to go there, isn't he? So, we're kind of doing a little this snake move here. Reason for that. Northern tip of Miami Bay, North Bay Island. Okay, that's why. Okay, so that's not North Bay Island, I don't think. It's these little islands over here. See the American Airlines arena there, which is home of the Miami Heat, and then somewhere over here. I'm just going to try and give a bit of a look out for it now. Is the football stadium. I think that might be it there actually. Can't quite get this to Yeah, that's the Hard Rock. That's the American football stadium there. So I'm not actually going to get close enough to have a look at it. I don't think. I was considering turning off the. Oh, that VFR map's doing my head in. I don't want to close it because it might crash the game. So yeah, these are the islands where there's bridges which connects them all. Home of the super rich. Those islands. Yeah, there you can see the Miami Heat Arena. And yeah, that's the Hard Rock. That's the American football stadium there. That's the Hard Rock Stadium. American Airlines Arena there. This would have been where all the drugs came in, under that bridge there. Back in the day. I think it was this bridge as well. Have you ever seen the documentary Cocaine Cowboys? They talk about these two bridges had a name. One was the front door, and one was the back door. And the guy was saying, you know, like they basically was loads of crooked police anyway, so you know they would pay them off, and depending on if they paid them off well or not, you got told to come in the front door or the back door. You can actually see the light shining through here a little bit further on, and it's lighting up one of the islands. Again, just these tiny little touches. And now that the cloud has turned from kind of bitty to real, like a full-on layer here, which again, you know, it's these little things in this game. That's where they have the tennis tournament. See all the tennis courts down there. As well. Obviously in a hugely rich area, that one, but it's cool to see. And now we're going to fly off down the Keys. So yeah, we're going southbound to the Ocean Reef Club. We can see where the sun's coming through and it's lighting up the water just here. It's so cool. And then you look back and it's just dismal. And then we'll be on our way to Indian Keyfill, then Big Pine Key, and then we'll be landing in Key West International Airport. So I predicted around 2-hour flight, and I think it's actually going to be much less. I think it's going to be about an hour and a quarter. So definitely have to fill it with something else, and I'll have to think about that next time I'm flying, that I keep the I cut some time off it, because if now we can go fly somewhere else and I can show you some cool stuff, but if people come in expecting to see Florida and there's no Florida, they're going to be disappointed. Can you see the different colour of the water here? Look at it here, look at this. That is active in the game, so they were saying, like, depending on the outside temperature and stuff like that, the water will change colour in certain areas. It'll either get a deeper blue or a lighter blue. You can see, like, kind of where the sun was peeking through. The water gets lighter. Here, whoa, we're right on the edge of the cloud line here. We might have to come down. Yeah, I think we're going to come down a couple of 100 feet because I think the cloud level's a bit low. We'll come down to 2.5. So I'm only going to go down about 200 feet. I'm not going to go down a lot. I'll do it on the flight level change so that it's a bit more seamless. I like the flight level change button actually because you don't control the attitude change, and once I start learning a little bit more about the distances, because I've noticed other people who kind of do videos of this game and stuff, everything's in there, and I need everything there, and they know, like, oh, when I arrive here, I'm gonna be able to start the descent, and they can use the flight level change button because they know that between that part and here and the speed I'm doing, I'm going to get down to that flight level. And unfortunately, I don't. Wow, look, you can see the sun's coming out over us now. Look at that. How cool is that? This is great. This is great. I might come down another couple of 100 feet by this because the cloud cover here is lower. Can you see? Because we're kind of flying in the cloud now, so I'm going to come down a little bit more. Come down about 300 meters. Flight level change again. And now the islands all start kind of coming into view now. So I thought these were mountains. I didn't realise it was the cloud. I was thinking that there's no mountains in Florida. But it's because I think we were... Look at this. This is great. I'm like a child. Look at the waves down there, the chop. Oh, it's amazing. All we need is someone release that add-on that brings business to the game. I don't care if it's cargo. I know there's like website ones that do it, but they don't interact with the game. Some of the past things that you could get that interact with the game is so cool. I wonder what city that is, because it's quite populated. Look at the colour of the water here. Fly through the Bermuda Triangle, actually, shouldn't we? See if anything gets thrown up. Okay, here's the Ocean Reef Club. Okay. Now once we fly over that, then we're going down the main keys. So we're coming now away from the mainland, so mainland US is here, and as we make this turn, we're going to actually pull away from the mainland. So this is just going to be all the island stuff that's left. Now, I promised myself I'd have a look at this last time, and I didn't, because I was speaking to Elizgar and I was saying, like, I don't know who lives down here and what life is like down here. Whether the people here kind of commute, or whether this is like more of a holiday home area, whether it's tourism or whatnot, because you can't imagine people being able to have a regular life living here, i.e. working a regular job, because you're so far away from the mainland. Now that place called Ocean Reef Club. The cloud level's coming down again, so I hope we're alright for landing now. Let's have a look. Ocean Reef Club. North Key Largo. It's a private club community in Key Largo. So it has world-class golf courses. Okay, so it's like it's one of the Lagos. So yeah. I'll look at how far the cloud cover's come down. Now this is actually, for me, I like this. So we're going to go down 200 meters more, and that is it. That's our cap. I'm not going under 2,000. If we can't get below the clouds here, we just have to fly through it. So I'll put the torque up and we'll fly. Now we seem to get, every time we go a bit lower and we get out of it, but then we end up going into cloud again. So yeah, we've dropped below it. We're at around 2,000. Yeah. The thing is, if we fly above it, we'll get these open spots where it looks nice, but then we'll get these closed spots. So it's not really worth doing it. even there, that cloud is really low. But that's what I like about this this add-on, is that yeah, we're flying into the cloud here. I'm hoping. Get out, cats! Out! And we've still got 27% fuel. I'm gonna put a stop to that now. General. Is it accessibility? It's under. I can never remember. No. What's it under? Come on. MISC. No. Maybe it's not under that. Maybe it's under assistance. I always forget. Yeah, it's under. I think it's. There you go. Unlimited fuel. On, there we go. I'm just going to let this cat out because he's been a pain in the ass. They've both been a bit of a pain in the ass the last few minutes. So yeah, I can't get. I'm not going to get down much lower here. It won't do me any good to go any lower either. So I'm just going to stick to this flight level for now. So here you can see now we're moving away from the mainland. We can't see the mainland because of this cloud cover, but look at this. I mean, just so different. I mean, unfortunately, we've been hampered a little bit. I could change it to clear skies. I could change it to clear skies. I do like this as well. I like the fact that the water's a different type of green here because it's not quite warm enough for that, or you haven't got enough sun for that really nice bright colour. I like how misty it feels. We'll have to go storm chasing as well one day because I think this weather thing could be really interesting in like full-on stormy conditions. Oh, we cleared that cloud, didn't we? Because I think it better represents the wind and stuff. Right, so we've got some cloud break. It's good. I can hear the wind, it's crazy. I wonder if you can hear it while you're in cockpit. Does my map. Tread on your map. Actually. Oh wow, I didn't even notice the map with the cloud cover and everything. That's pretty cool. Showing like the... Oh, so we are flying through some pretty dodgy weather. I don't know whether you can actually see where the plane is now though. But my map in no way steps on your map, so that's good. That's a good start. Disable the preview. So that's good. I'll always have the map there then. So we're coming into some pretty choppy weather now. And orange to red as well on the radar, so I think we'll be okay for the airport. He says hopingly. Hopingly, is that a word? I'm going to actually see if I can get in touch with Key West. No. Well, it doesn't matter actually. I'll wait until we pass. Is it Indian? No, Big Pine Key. When we pass Big Pine Key, then I'll get in touch with the airport, because we'll be at a flight level low enough to yeah, we'll be at a flight level low enough to come into land, I think. Didn't set up a particular course for landing or anything, so I think yeah, I think I'll have to kind of set that up myself. I don't know the runway heading or anything, so, but that doesn't really matter. I feel comfortable with this plane. It's just if the weather is not good over that point, because I mean this cloud is pretty low here, and we're in and out of it. Kind of in and out of it. I've got the display down here, which helps me a little bit, but real world conditions, you have to be able to see it, see the airport when you're at minimum, so that brand in there is the honeycomb brand, isn't it? Or is it just happened to be the same shape? We don't want to be messing around with the heading, but having said that, I don't think the heading's going to be affected or anything. So if you're looking now, we're in the near whiteout now. Well, not whiteout actually, just the view. I suppose we're flying over water at the moment, which we are. So that is a very low cloud in front of us. I'll have to change the view on your map for the next flight, because I didn't mean to put the weather one on there. I don't know why it's on. Might have just been testing it and accidentally left it on, because you can see, I can actually set this to show weather. Now this plane now has been fitted with an emergency land system as well. Now I don't know if they'll ever introduce that into the game, but emergency land is a Garmin thing which has been introduced in a lot of its new airplanes, where in a lot of Garmin installed airplanes that have the Garmin 3000, it is a thing where you literally push a button it declares an emergency and it will land you automatically at the nearest airport. Now I'm not sure if it's an ILS, it has to be an ILS airport or what, but the computer takes over the whole plane, and it's in case the pilot is incapacitated, and obviously you've only got your family and stuff on board, so rather than in the olden days it would normally crash and everybody would die, your family can press the button and it will get them safely back to the nearest airport, which is pretty amazing technology. Because if these technologies from Garmin and whatnot keep being put into aircraft in the way that they are, there is going to be a time soon when you'll get in an airplane, your airplane or whatever, and you probably won't have to touch anything. Everything will be done automatically. Now, whether that would ever truly be allowed by the aviation industry, I don't know. They might expect everybody to still be a full-on trained pilot, so if that goes wrong, then you can land it. But I think it's pretty amazing. And especially when I talk about this cockpit, because I love flying this plane, because this cockpit is the simplest cockpit there is in any airplane. If you don't fly a lot, it might seem like there's a bit too much, but there really isn't. Compared to every other plane, this one is so much easier to read and understand what's going on and where everything is. By a long chalk. The plane's outfitted with the Garmin 1000 I was playing around with before, and I can get them flying and get them doing everything and land them. But they're not as, or don't seem as easy as this one. And in actuality, I think the newest version of the TBM has an auto throttle as well. That's the one thing about this. This thing will almost fly itself, apart from you have to control the throttle. And you have to make sure you don't overcook it and stuff like that. And that's one of the things where I think, you know, if you take that out of the pilot's hands as well, then it just becomes easier and safer to fly. More than anything. You think too many buttons on this one? Or are you saying what I was saying about? Because let me just make it like simple. The aircraft lights. Okay, so the main aircraft lights are all there, and there's only 4 of them. It's not like the massive overhead panel that the A320 has and everything. Then you've got your inside lights, so inside the aircraft. You can't get them mixed up. You've got your generator switches, that's it. You've got your fuel. It's all sectioned off here. Even the autopilot switch, all sectioned off, so you know what everything is. Then you've got all your things for your flight here, so i.e. your altitude, your direction, everything like that. But most of that you don't have to set, because you pre-program it anyway. So heading and course, I very rarely touch. You can use them when you're doing in certain approaches. You don't have to. All your kind of icing issues, so when you're flying in certain weather and you get ice on the wings, all that's here. Your landing stuff is here, and that's it. I mean, that is it. The only other stuff is your barometric pressure and stuff here, but your desired altitude and barometric pressure up here, but you really don't. You in reality, you do have to twist them, but the ATC tell you, and then you twist that, and it goes automatically. For example, the ATC should have told me to switch it there, and I didn't, so I just did an auto one there. now. Okay, so coming out into some nice weather here actually, which is good. Got out of that kind of hairy part there, and we now seem to be in good weather. And it seems like it might be clear skies ahead, which is really good. So we are at Summerland Key Cove. Big Pine Key. Okay, so Big Pine Key is our final part that we're stopping over. So I'm just going to pull back a little bit on the throttle, and I'm going to tune into Key West International. Key there Tower. And I'm going to request a full stop landing.
Key West Tower ineffectual gamer 907 is 22 miles east with echo to land.
Miles.
Ineffectual gamer 907 Key West Tower. Fly straight in runway 27. Altimeter 29.3 wind 096 at tree 2.
Now, I don't know.
Make straight in runway 27.
I'm set up for 27. I really don't know if I'm set up for 27. I actually really don't know. So, must be, look. Now I'm a little bit lower because I'm at what, 2,000 feet rather than higher. But that's fine. Okay. Now, I can keep the current heading or not. And I'm actually not going to. So I'm going to turn the nav mode off right now. So, it's going to keep its altitude. But I can control the direction of the plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take us a little bit out to the left there. Oops. And keep us a little bit out to the west. Now, I just want to see if... No, it's still controlling our turn. I don't know why it's controlling our turn, because it shouldn't. But anywho, I'll keep us straightened up until it wants to. I'm going to actually, what I will do is I'll fly us on a slight curve here. I'll try and take us out. I'll just take my... Whoa, that was a bit too much. Now he's going to try and barrel roll me straight off to the right again, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a little bit of help to get me in the right position here. So, although this isn't normally how you would do this, it's going to... fly out past these red markers. I could have actually really turned them off by now. I don't need them as much as I used to. Okay, the reason I'm doing this is I want to fly beyond where the I wish it wouldn't keep pulling me over. It feels really strange to be constantly fighting it, but anywho. Right, so I'm going to engage the nav. Because it's going to go on a mental turn now because I've been fighting him. Don't be an idiot. Alright, let's turn the autopilot off. I can land this myself. Right, so let's get the autopilot off. Autopilot off. Okay, let's do this properly. So, well, I'm going to leave my nose up a little bit just so we can bleed up a bit of speed. So we're 160 at the moment. I don't want to be at 160. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit because I want to get myself pretty much lined up. Okay. Now you can see the kind of like that little green thing on my screen, like a little crosshair. It's kind of where you should be aiming the plane. Now we've got a tailwind, not headwind, which I don't think you ever land in tailwind either, but whatever. It's a simulator, you can do what we want to do. Right, okay, so just pull back a little bit on the why it wants to point the nose up, I'll never know, but this is what happens sometimes when you fight the autopilot. I think it trims the plane up, and I don't want to trim it up, I want to trim it down. So I need to kind of mess with that a little bit. Okay, that's better. Just get into the right thing now. Okay. So now,
Ineffectual Algebra 9er, 7 cleared to land runway 27.
your damper off,
Wind
nav
102
off,
at 39er.
altitude off. Okay, I'm now going to start putting
Cleared to
my,
land runway 27 ineffectual gamer 907.
I'm going to put my flaps on and start really bleeding this speed off here. And try and get ourselves down a bit as well, because we're coming in at a really, really strange angle. Now I'm not necessarily going to follow this exactly to where it's leading me, because it's kind of... I'm just going to try and drop a little bit. Not go too crazy. We can do 15 degrees. Again, with this nose, and actually my seat position, I should put myself down a little bit, my seat position is making me kind of feel like banks are much deeper than they are. These engines right back now. I'm going to really start bleeding this off, so I'm going to put in my second flaps because I can view the runway now. So I want these second flaps in, and as I said, we're actually going too fast for the second flaps. That was my mistake. Okay, get down now. Keep bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. Okay, now we're at roughly coming in at a decent speed now. Still too fast, still need to bleed a bit off. I can probably stick the nose up actually to bleed a little bit of that off. And now I'm just going to go eyes on the runway, I think. I'm not going to pay attention to anything else. Landing gears down, flaps are extended to full. Lower than our approach speed, so I'm just going to put a little bit of power back in. Now sometimes I seem to come a bit lower on the glide slope, but I honestly actually don't care. There's a saying that somebody said it's better to be higher than lower, and I'm not far off stall speed there, so I'm going to add again a little bit more speed, because I've got my nose up a little bit here, so I need to actually inject a fair bit more. There we go. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so we're a little bit right of the runway, but no craziness. Now is our decision height, more or less, so we'd make a decision whether we're coming into land, and of course we are going to come into land, because this is we don't need to worry about anything here. Kind of aiming for those two markers ahead. As we're coming in over the numbers there, we're going to lift the nose. Try and cut the engines off fully. Just as we come over, I'm a little bit over those markers there, but well, we're a little bit over the markers there. We put in our reverse thruster. Thrusters back in. We should be able to find somewhere to taxi off here.
Ineffectual Algebra 9er, 7 exit runway when able.
It's too fast for it. Damn it. Oh, what a shitty end to that part of the flight. I knew I was coming in a bit too fast there. I thought
121.9er for ineffectual gamer 907.
I didn't want to go off at the end of the runway because we'd have been taxiing forever, but well. But a successful flight, successful landing. The landing I was flaring for a little bit longer than I would have liked to. I think it's because I came in slightly higher than I wanted to. But like I said before, there was somebody who said on one stream, you know, it's better to be a little bit high than too low. So it felt like I flared for way too long there. A couple of seconds too long. I mean, you're not going to stall and drop out the sky or anything, but I think you're not really supposed to flare for too long. Although I have seen even, if you know who Squirrel is, I've seen him flaring on some flights for quite a long time, so I don't know whether it's acceptable in certain planes. Yeah. I don't know if it's acceptable in certain planes where you can just flare for a lot longer because you've got a massive runway and a small plane, I suppose. check my reverse thrusters as well. I don't know. This plane has reverse thrusters, but of course it's not a jet, so I don't exactly know how that works. I should probably read up a bit on it actually. Okay, now it's actually sending me to the exact same parking spot it sent me to last time. Exactly the same one. Nobody stood there. Oh yeah, there is. Okay. Good stuff. Stick the old parking brake on. And up. Still forgotten how you turn off the engine in this. Oh. Damn it. And I can't remember what the button is to turn the engine off. I had a button before. And I can't remember what it was. Oh crap. No, it's not an alt button. Oh crap, I don't know how to turn my engines off. You can't do it in the cockpit that I'm aware of, which is strange, because you've only got the ignition switch. I think even if you turn your generators off and whatnot, I'll try it here. I think even if you turn your generators off and stuff, the engine keeps going, I think. I think when you turn the generator off, it just stops the flight. Let's see. Yeah, look, the engine's still going. I did set it so that I could just turn the engine off easily. Yes. But I've forgotten. So I'm just trying to arrange a walk for tomorrow, so. Okay, so people, let me see. So yeah, so there is somewhere I want to show you. I'm just going to take just a 2-minute break. I just need to go to the loo, because I haven't been to the loo for a couple of hours. Okay, so stay with me, because we're going to go somewhere very, very interesting. 2 minutes. Okay, hello. Thanks for waiting for me, if indeed you did wait for me. Right, so I'm just gonna... Oh crap, am I gonna have to open a web page? Or can I do it on here? Does it have a search history? I might have to open up a web page on the PC, and I really don't want to because it affects the memory. No. We'll use Google, because Google is your friend. So just give me 1 second. I think we might change aircraft for this one. Shut up, you. Yes, I think we'll change aircraft to this one. We're going to go in the Icon. The good old Icon. I haven't flown in her for ages. So that's the first one I think we took myself and Alice out flying around in. Can't get up a mountain, I know that much. Yeah, we'll go in the Icon. Let's go on the world map, and so I know for a fact that somewhere around here. Alright, let's do it another way. Okay, here we go. Somebody's actually done... I forgot, I don't think I've installed that one yet though. Okay, so... Okay, maybe it's that one. It's gonna load it in. Hopefully it's gonna load it in. Okay, so... Hewlett. IP Ranch. That's a good one. So set as arrival. No, set as departure, and we can set as arrival as well actually. Okay, that should be fine. What's this one? Gillette Campbell. Okay. And there must be others around. Hewlett Municipal, but IP Ranch we're okay because we're in the Icon A5. We'll be good to go. Let me just stop the weather thing because I don't care what the weather is here. So I'm going to stop that. We're going to pick flight conditions with clear skies. That's what we've got. Okay. Go back to the world map and click fly. So, what's that cat? Give over, cat. Oh. Apparently we have got restrictions. You know, they're talking about bringing in... I'm just talking to somebody about a walk tomorrow and talking about that there's restrictions, and that explains it. So today, wherever you went, it was jam-packed with people. Whether you were going shopping, whether you went for a walk somewhere, absolutely filthy jam-packed. And this, people, is how you get a spread of a disease. Because you start putting stupid restrictions in place that don't need to be in place, so everybody goes running for the last day out. I tell you, Piss Up Brewery couldn't organise is the biggest thing for our governments at the moment. They're absolutely idiots when it comes to this. If you're going to give restrictions, don't tell us. So here's the famous place we're heading towards. Can you see this here? If you've watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you'll know what this is. Whoa. So we're going to head over there. Now, it's been a while since I've flown this one, so flaps are set for takeoff. Got landing lights on, strobe lights on. I don't know what that one is. Water. This is another one where I find it difficult actually to turn off the engines. Why it's bobbing around in a field, I'll never know, but it could be a bit windy or something. I don't know. This this plane is beautiful for the fact of you just point it and rev up the engine and you're off. Whoa! Now I don't know what our actual takeoff speed is. I think it's 40 or something, but I'll let it. I'm gonna go to about 50. There we go. I'm guessing our flaps have to be up before we reach 75. So here you can see from the movie Close Encounters the famed Devil's Tower. Okay. Now, famously used in the movie. I don't know if I've actually flown this before. I feel like I have flown it before in a live stream, but I might have been drunk. But we're gonna have a look at this.
Yankee 14 traffic in effectual gamer 971 miles south, 4,400 feet inbound to land runway 11.
Okay. I just wanted to take you over and give you a really good look at it. Now, it's a beautiful rock. Absolutely, I love it. Again, it's harks back to my youth, so anything from my youth I totally fall in love with. I want to fly around and I want to see. I'm gonna have to get on the bloody internet now and have a look at these fucking restrictions. I'm telling you, I'm sick, absolutely sick to death of this stupidity of government. Get off my chair, because it is becoming to the point where why do anything? If you're going to put a restriction in place, you don't tell people, because then they go and have one last hurrah. And that's when the fucking thing gets spread more than ever. If you'd gone out today, anywhere you went, it was absolutely jam-packed. Totally jam-packed. So I'm going to put the active pause on for this. Active pause. Active pause. Active pause. Okay, why is there no button for the active pause? Strange. Say general. No, this would be under. Would it be under camera? Can't you really do my head and get off, please? No. So it must be under controls. It's a tree stump. I did not know that. Right, okay. Let's have a quick look. Camera, no. There is a slew mode. I know that, but I don't want a slew. Drone camera, external camera. So it can't be under that. It must be under flight. No, it can't be under flight control services. This is really rough. Change aircraft. No. Menu. Fly. Close menu. No, so it's not in menu. It won't be in landing gear. Ah, it's because I'm on the controller, you idiot. Right, so, miscellaneous. Right, let's have a look. It's probably a miscellaneous. Nope. Gonna be fun. So it's not in instruments and systems, is it? Toggle, but no. It's not in slew mode. It's not an autopilot. Get down! I will not tell you again. Talking to a cat like it's a human, I know. Okay, so it's none of these. Come on. Toggle octave. Button pause. That's a good one. Right, let's put it in. Start scanning P. Right, this is already used somewhere else. What's it used for? Because I pressed it and now it happened, so shut up. Right, apply and save. Okay, so we can go back. We'll go back again. Go back again. Okay. Cool. Okay, we finally have active pause. Okay, so if we go insert, we're now in the drone cam. Just gonna mess around with this a little bit. The drone cam set moves faster because this is ridiculous. So when you see the movie, you see them kind of break through the driving towards it, and you see the police trying to stop them, and they go off the main road, which is here. Obviously now this road's better because it's got a visitors centre, and then they drive off here, and you actually see this hill in the shot where they crashed the car, I think it is. So I think that again, the fact that I can sit here in this day and age in a flight simulator and say, oh, in this movie they see this hill, it still rocks me. Anywho, the continuing around down here, this is where where all the army stuff is, and then they go and do a runner, and it doesn't show them crossing this river, but they go and I don't think it does anyway, and they go do a runner up through these trees, but it doesn't actually it does show this part of them climbing up this hill. So I don't know what part of this hill you can now climb up or whatnot. And anyway, they get up to here, and this is where they try to gas them off it. Now, at the moment, the graphics aren't looking good, but it will pop in a second. And then when they come down over the other side, this is where Steven Spielberg used the matte painting, because he's very famous for doing that. And they put in the alien landing site here on the back of it. But it was actually a matte painting because he did a lot of his stuff with big matte paintings. But I don't know why it's not popping in. Whoops, why it's not popping in yet. So this is what was here before, this tiny little thing here. But whoever put this in fixed it a little bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a collision point, so you just go inside it because they pulled it from Google, I think. So they climb around the side of it here on these rocks, just where these trees are. There shouldn't be any trees loaded into there, to be honest. I don't think there's trees in reality. That's why it has a weird shape from the back, because all is sheared off. You can see it here. Now, in reality, where they put the matte painting, you'd see the thingy, there's actually a road and there is a car park. So I don't know what this is here. And to be honest with you, I haven't used Google Maps to have a look either. Hello, Malcolm, by the way. How are you doing? Saw your message there, but that is pretty. Oof. Oh, it's because I've got it set too fast now. But look at that! Look at this view. If I just move it over slightly, look at that view. I mean, that's not bad from a world simulator point of view. That you can get down and see the cars like that. It's mental. And I was saying I wished I'd put another one in because somebody's done. I forgot the name of it now. Crapola. Somebody has done. Come on, Michael. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember. The thing with the president's faces. Let's forget its name. So somebody's done that. Oh yeah, now you can see the rocks are a bit better now. Slightly better than they were. They seem to have loaded in a bit more now. Or maybe it's just the distance, I don't know. I always felt like it looked better than that. But again, maybe I was at... When you get to a certain height, then it looks great. When you get too close, it looks really bad. How cool is that? It was one of the first things modded into the game. One of the first things that somebody said, I'm modding that in. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Rushmore, that's it, Mount Rushmore, yeah. But I haven't dropped that mod in, unfortunately, but somebody has modded Mount Rushmore into it. I don't know how far the plane was. You have to do this by sound. There it is. I love how I can always find it just by sound. It's so cool. So yeah. Take off the active pause. I'd love to land on top, but because it hasn't got collision on it, I'd just go straight through it, so otherwise I absolutely would. But we are going to pull back a little bit on the throttle there. And, you know what, Brian? I'll load in Edinburgh for you. We talked about Edinburgh before, didn't we? So I'll load in Edinburgh. We'll go have a mooch around Edinburgh. What's the nearest airport to Edinburgh? So yeah, we'll go back to the main menu and I'll load Edinburgh in, because luckily that doesn't take up a lot of EDI. Well, yeah, but EDI? I can't remember what England is now. Is it E code? EDI. We'll soon find out. EEDI. No. It's not Teesside, it's Durham Tees. Durham Tees Valley. E. Yeah, that didn't look. So it'd be EEDI. I thought the UK was E. Right, oh well, I've got the thing here. EGPH. Okay, EGPH. Edinburgh. Okay, set as delete departure. Set as departure. We'll just go with an active runway. Easy enough. Okay. And I don't actually know which direction Edinburgh is, but I'm sure when we take off we'll find it. Okay, so we'll change the flight conditions to daytime so we can actually see some stuff. Now, I haven't fully modded Edinburgh, so there's a newer mod come out which has more to it. So would have been. I think it's got a few more things to it, so it would have been nice to use that one, but the thing is, the computer's going to get totally overridden with loads of stuff. How the scenery works in this game, I'll never know, because you literally drag and drop stuff in and it just loads it up. It's there in game. Sometimes it's a bit broken, but I think that's something to do with the people who are making it. Because I think some people try and make stuff and get it out too quickly, and they don't realise that it works on their computer for one reason, but on other people's computers it doesn't. Do you remember when we went to Niagara Falls, everything was white, and there was other people complaining the same, saying it's white, and the creator was saying, no, it works perfectly, and it doesn't. And I had it with something in my hometown in England, which was doing it, and I contacted the creator, and he said, no, there's no reason for it to be doing that. Somebody said it's when you're copying files, doesn't always copy it properly. This causes it to kind of show up as white. So they say, oh, just download it and do it again, but I don't know. Why is that? Oh, villain. So I've got a friend who was climbing in England today, and I put, when wet and windy climb up Helvellyn was a bit sketchy in places. You know, people who use terms like it was a bit sketchy shouldn't be climbing in the first place. They really shouldn't. Sketchy means that it was dodgy. And if it was sketchy and it was wet and windy, you shouldn't have been climbing it. Simple as that. Always check the weather before you go climbing people. Alright, so we're pretty much near the city, I think, by the looks of it.
Ineffectual Algomer 9er 7 cleared for takeoff runway 30 straight out departure approved.
There we are. What we can actually do here is we can do the active pause. Go outside, go It's just we don't even need to fly over this. There's a bridge of some type over there. Looks like a bit of work's been put into that. So I'm guessing this is Edinburgh. Yes, must be, mustn't it? Close down the. Let me close down the old thing there. So yeah, this is definitely Edinburgh. Get your bottle of Squatch. So this must be a golf course, of course. Must be a famous golf course. Can neither Brian or Malcolm or anybody else fill me in? This looks very circular, so I'm supposing it's a housing estate of some type. Oh, so they've got British style housing in the game. Definitely. Right, should we try and find any structures that are famous? So, right, here we have a white structure. So, oh no, that is actually, I'm guessing that looks like a university campus or a school campus. Well, it's definitely a school campus, isn't it? It's got a football field and track thing. So there you can see football stadium. Yep. Sampton Park, is it? Which is pretty cool. That's been modded and put in. Somebody's actually physically put that in. It's come from Google, you can tell. They've even put in some of the buildings around it, which is pretty cool. Well, football rugby stadium, I'm supposing it houses both. By the looks of it, there's another football stadium here, but it's rendered the terraces as houses, which it does for a lot of football stadiums, unfortunately. It seems to do that. Murrayfield. What other big stadiums in? Is there another big stadium in Edinburgh? I recognise the name as soon as you said it, but I'm going to be honest with you, I know nothing about rugby stadiums. Let's see what else we're looking for. Oh, Hamptons and it is, you're right, yep. It is. Somebody's done Newcastle as well, which they've done an amazing job of. I'm not sure what this building is here. You know, this has definitely been rendered. This has been put in by whoever did the city. I don't know what that building is. Yeah, but I'm trying to see where Easter Road would be. I'm guessing it could be that stadium. I don't know if it's close to Murrayfield, but that's definitely a football stadium. Because the way it's built, the houses up around it, and you can see, like, for example, these are the terraces, because you can actually see the photo underneath, and you can actually see the part of the roof. But the AI doesn't know that, and so it's built houses on it, and it does that at a lot of the smaller football stadiums. So I'm guessing that could be Easter Road there. I mean, luckily with this drone cam, you can do everything so quickly. It makes it easier. But I can't understand why I can't see the castle. The castle's on this hill. I'm sure it's on this hill. And it's not rendered it in. But is it this hill that it's on? Or am I going mad? Because when I last looked at Edinburgh, the castle was here. Because I loaded it in to check. See, this has come from Google as well. You can always tell the buildings that have come from Google, because they're just a little bit off colour, because people aren't colorising them properly. But that's pretty cool. That is definitely the Castle Hill. Why is the castle not shown up? I'm not on the wrong side or anything, no. I don't know if... I can't have deleted it. Because if I'd have deleted it, am I looking in the wrong place? Please tell me if you think, if you know I am, because it'll stop me thinking I'm mental. Or unless it's on that hill there. But I was going to say, because if it's on this hill, the castle showed us something else, so it can't be that. So it must be this hill over here. Oh, and maybe this is... Oh, maybe I did take it out. Sorry, I might have actually taken a... I have a feeling this might be it. No, it can't, because that's got like roads and stuff built around it. Can't be there. Right, let's see where else it could be. Can't be this far out, because you can see it from the city centre. It's not here, is it? In this one. This is going to drive me crazy, people. The last time I did this as a tester, I saw the castle. Right beside the railway station. Now that's actually quite helpful, because you can normally see a railway. That looks like a railway right there. So look. Certainly is. That's certainly a railway. So. Well, you say next to the railway station, but that'll be the railway station there, I think. But having said that, it goes all the way in here. Aha! There we go. Thank you, Brian. So, there you go. There's the railway station. And then Brian said it's right next to it. So I just looked a bit ahead, and there you go. Edinburgh Castle. But we're going to lift it up a bit so it looks a bit nicer. What the hell's behind it? I didn't know there was like a concert stadium there. That's cool. I'm sure it's a concert stadium and nothing else. Can't imagine it being... It's not wide enough for sport, I don't think, so it must be a concert stadium. And it's the way it's been built is pretty cool, because you'd probably have the stage at this end, so the castle will be backdropped by the stage. I bet that looks immense. That's pretty cool. So yeah, before it just rendered a load of flats, and it looked terrible. There's always a shot, a particular shot, and I think it's this street here. There's always this kind of particular shot you get of the castle. And I know this won't be exactly like what the street is, but you see it like that. And it's like, look, you can even see the road markings, it's crazy. There's always like this shot of the car, but it could be from one of these, because it's like a cobbled street where you see it from. Oh, it was for golf, really? What weird golf? They have like a driving range or something. That is bizarre. But, yeah, okay. Ah, and I think you meant this train station, actually. Didn't realise there was more than one. There's a train station here, so that would make more sense when you said it was right next to the train station, but we found it anyway. You can also go down to the dock area, where there's some stuff as well. Been built in. Now this one, I think it was this that surprised me when I went down, because when you go down to it, I think it's a shopping centre or something. It's called The View, and View are this huge company. They own loads of stuff. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, The View, I know that. Then I saw Debenhams, which is pretty cool, because of course whoever's done it's just pulled it off Google, and I'm sure I could see like a McDonald's or something, but it might have been a different building where I saw that. See the no entry. I mean, you know, this distance it's going to look bad. It's not going to look great. But the actual fact that somebody's dropped it in is really cool. The only difference, as I said, is Google Earth has a different tone to Bing Maps, and nobody is blending stuff properly. So it's good and bad, because normally the thing you're looking for is something famous, like a famous building or something, but you can always just look for the stuff that's off colour. Some throw you like that, that's AI, but others like that here. Is that the Hibs ground? Is there two? There must be two football teams in Edinburgh. There must be. I was looking at that one there, but in actuality that might just be an AI one. I'm sure there's like a museum or something that you're supposed to be able to see. That's been no, we've already looked at that. That's definitely coming from Google Maps. Let's go more over this way. The fact that you can do this with any city is crazy, don't you think? Ah, okay. Okay, that was the Hibs one, so, okay. And then there was Tynecastle, right, okay. I always thought it weird that Edinburgh's like a really big city, and yet their football teams are like so small. You know, Glasgow can have two, but that's more because it's for religious reasons why those two clubs are so big. But and then here in Edinburgh, you have like two small teams, and really small teams. I think. Well, Hibs sometimes do all right. I guess Hearts have had the times when they've been okay. So yeah, that's Edinburgh. Now, I did want to have a look at London, but I'm going to be honest with you. So I want to check something in my downloads. No, not my downloads. In my mod section. I don't know if I've got London installed. I'm just going to go past all the Asobo stuff and see if I can see if I've actually got it in there. So, okay, so if not, we'll go somewhere else, because there's one I wanted to go see, which is Boise in Idaho. Because I put a load of stuff in there, because I've been to Boise once a long time ago, and no, I have got London loaded in. Okay, let's go. We'll go have a look at London as well. Let's have a look. Well, small. You know what I mean. In compared to Rangers and Celtic, I mean they've got no money or anything. I mean it's, you know, when you look at it in that sense. Don't want to be too dismissive or anything. I just always thought, like, when I look at Edinburgh, you look at Glasgow with the two teams that dominated it for so long, and you think, wow. Oh, hang on a second. Right. So I'm gonna go London City Airport for this one. London. Hopefully this doesn't crash my stream. I actually knew that one, EGLC. We'll go fly here. So yeah, and this is the crazy thing about this game, is just going anywhere in the world and looking at it. And if you just after the stream, if you just type in Microsoft Flight Simulator North America, and it'll come up with a video that was posted 2 days ago, and they haven't even done the proper upgrade for North America yet, and they're just flying around the regular cities, and they're showing them, and you're just like, wow, how can you? You didn't even look at the zoo. Well, I was scared of the monkeys escaping. So my friend's saying, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't go on because there's too many people. It's like, fuck other people. I'll kick them in the face. I know it's a bit of daft me saying, people are out walking, and then I'm going out walking. But the thing is, I go out every week. And when I go out every week, there's nobody there. And there's this talk of there being another confinement. It's not going to happen because the economy can't sustain it. And the kids have to be in school. So there's no confinement coming. But people here, you know, they were under the control of Franco not so long ago, and they don't always think as rationally as we would in the UK. They're just like, you know, like little what is it, like little rumours go out and just people just believe it straight off the bat. Remember when they had the independence vote here, and stupidly they were listening to the politicians who were saying, oh, we're now in an independent Catalonia, and I was saying to people, we're not independent. There's no legality to this. I'd love to live in an independent Catalonia, but there was no legality to it, and people are going, oh, it'll take time, but we're free. And now they're all not always understanding why they're not. And yeah, so silly. But yeah, with this confinement thing now, people are like believing that they're going to be confined again this week, but I think there'll be some rules brought in where the police will say, look, we don't want you just shopping and stuff willy-nilly, which I think they need here anyway, because when you confine people, when you stop people from going to a bar or a cafe, they'll just start chilling wherever they can. So you do have to have rules down in that sense. They'll just go wherever they can to chill. So it'd be at the supermarket. I've seen loads of people just chilling in the supermarket. Sounds daft, but it's totally true. Okay, so we are at London City. So we can already see the barrage. I don't know what that bridge is there. We'll have a look at it. So at the moment we have a black screen, but I didn't expect any less. This is gonna. There's actually already a pause, and I'm hoping I haven't lost the game. Okay, so we're gonna go up. I know this kind of defeats the object, but of a flight simulator. But I just wanted to do this a little bit too, to show it off. Right. So that's that bridge you could see in the other direction. That was crazy. It looked like it was really close to me. I like whatever they did there. So here is let's have a look. So that's the airport. I'm guessing this is the old power station. So that's a Tate & Lyle. Oh, it's a sugar factory. Okay, didn't know that. Okay, so that's definitely part of the add-on. And then we go over here. And I don't know whether... I think that was in Only Fools and Horses. In one episode when they were somewhere down here. There's the O2 Arena here. Here. The O2 Arena here. I wonder if Wembley's here. Pretty cool. See if we can get down to water level. Oh, isn't that water? It's beautiful. Don't know what these weird hills are. Well, I think at least they fixed the water levels. I think the water levels at one point in London were a bit weird. Okay, this is cool. I don't actually know London very well, just so you know. I know this is the financial district. I know it mainly because of... I didn't even know this building had been built, for example. Like, I know this one and this one. This isn't the old BT tower, is it? I doubt it. This one's pretty famous now. Let's go on a little bit. I do have a kind of basic idea of central London and where stuff is. Now that must be Wembley or Arsenal. I think it's Arsenal Stadium. I'll know when I get a little bit closer, be able to see. I think that's Arsenal Stadium because Wembley has the walk-up thing. Oh no, that's West Ham Stadium. Oh wow, okay. Well, there you go. It's West Ham Stadium. That was where they had the Olympics. So I'm surprised West Ham Stadium's in there. I really am, actually. I didn't realise it was that close to central London. Full of scumbags, that stadium, just so you know. Absolute scumbags. Similar to Oakland, if you're an American watching. It's like Oakland fans. Okay, so let me get my bearings here so I can have a good look. I can't see any other stadiums at the moment. Oh yeah, can. Got stadium eyes, me. I really have. I spot stadium a mile off. I'm supposing this is Arsenal's. Yeah. And the reason I know it is because that right there, I think, is the old Highbury. I don't know what it is now, and that's the new Arsenal stadium. That one must be Arsenal's because, again, Wembley's got this kind of walk-up. So, that's pretty good. Don't know where Wembley is in regards to its exact location. I'm going to go up a bit and see if I maybe can't see it a little bit. But, okay. Right, so let's have a quick look around London. This is, I forgot the name of this train station. King's Cross, I do believe. Have a look outside. It's either King's Cross or Waterloo. I think it's King's Cross. I think it's King's Cross. One of them's King's Cross. I think the other one's Waterloo. I think that's King's Cross because I remember going there a long time ago. It came out. Yeah, I would suspect. I'm going to still have a look for Wembley later on. Just don't know exactly where it is. And like I said, my knowledge of London is iffy, but not terrible. So here's the Tower of London. So I'm going to just go down here to London Bridge. Actually, this isn't. Yes, this is London Bridge. So they've done pretty well, actually. Hello, Jolie. Is it St Pancras? But King's Cross is next to it, isn't it? Or am I just blowing smoke up people's backsides? Because, as I said. So, yeah, right. So, where was I going to look? There. This is the Tower of London. It's a pretty shitty rendition of it, to be honest with you. It's pretty crappy. It's quite detailed, but it's not that bright in real life. Definitely not. I don't know the name of that building there. This one is the Shard. It's kind of known as the most famous. Is Northwest. Okay. Oof. Right. Northwest. Okay. Don't even know what north is here. I'll give it a whirl. I'll have a look at my airplane. Okay, so welcome in, Julie, by the way. So let's see what else we've got. Oh, there's the Gherkin. I always thought Gherkin was on the south side of the river. Am I getting a bit mixed up as to which side of the river is which here? I might be. Right, let's go have a look at Big Bob. Okay, so right, it's got all the bridges. It's even got the walkway one. I've forgotten its name now. So that would make no. Let me get this right before I start harking on about it. Because I think some of these buildings have been built since I was last there. So I'm looking southwest at the moment. Okay. Hang on, at the moment I'm looking southwest, is that right? Shard is south of the river. Ah, right, okay, thank you. So that would be north. And northwest, of course, would be that way. So we'll go have a mooch around up there later. Okay, so if the Shard is on the south side of the river, I think I can kind of keep things in order. So yeah, this is a walking bridge. It's a Millennium Bridge, that's what it was called, which was a bit of a mess when it was first unveiled. Let's go around. Oof, we're getting some frame rate hits here, people, but we're going to. I want to get my buildings right, so just bear with me a second, because some of them seem to have been done very well, and some seem to have been done not so well. And I don't know if I'm missing something or not. No, so I'm guessing this one is the MI5 building, but it doesn't look like it. Julie can probably Julie can probably tell me. Oh, I'm staring at things and she's answering. Hang on. We're on a bit of a delay here, so let's start from now. Okay, so she said the Tate Modern, but that's there. That's the Tate Modern. Okay. Yeah, it's actually written on it there. You can see Tate Modern. Free hall, open to all. This building, I don't recognise. This wasn't here when I last came to London. The reason I say this must be the MI5 building is I know you can see the MI5 building from this bridge here, because that's Westminster. But these buildings don't look anything like it. But I didn't think it was that far. And I definitely didn't think there was a railway bridge in the way. So, let me have a look. It can't be that one. But it's got a very, very specific look to it. Because I've always said that... because this is MI6 operate out of here, I think it is. Again, I'm probably wrong, but I think MI6 operate out of there. And yeah, this must be it. It's just a pretty shitty rendition. They might not have even put it in. This might be the game's version of it. Which, if it is, the game just does what it can, where it can. Okay, so I've never really thought if maybe they put it in or not. Is HMS Belfast there? It's probably one of these ones underwater. So, because it's satellite imagery, don't forget. The boats that are currently there are all underwater, unfortunately. That's the London Eye. This is Westminster. Here, now I can probably find my way to the palace easily through here. Just west of Tower Bridge. Okay, so let me quickly, because I can move this pretty fast. There's Tower Bridge. Ah yeah, the HMS Belfast there, look, you can see it. I'm guessing that's it. Whoop, let me not go too far down. I'm guessing they've mapped that into the game. Is that HMS Belfast? I can't see any writing on it, but I would suppose that was it, because that's been placed. There are no boats in the game, so that one's been placed. Okay, I thought you said downstream. You're actually right, it is downstream. I don't think of it that way. Does Julie work for MI5? Yeah, I'm sure that's the MI5, but it's a shame they haven't put the real one in there. Okay, so let's do this properly. So we have here, we have Westminster. It's pretty cool when you realise how close to the main road it is and everything. Back when I went there, you could still... Oh, is it out of position? It looks like they've put it out of position. It looks like they've put it out of position. There used to be a guy who lived on this piece of grass in a tent. He put the tent up there just before a law was brought out saying you couldn't protest here. So after September 11th, they brought out a law saying you couldn't have protests here. But the day before, a guy put his tent out, and he would protest on your behalf. Kind of pointless, but it was a nice gesture, and he lived in a tent for ages. Oh, I always thought it was here, but you know, sometimes, Julie, I get mixed up with, you know, the TV show Spooks. The building gets me mixed up, so yeah, it probably is somewhere upstream. Don't know where though. I'll come back here because this is central London. Now we're going to get a better look at this when I get Watch Dogs, because although Watch Dogs is set in the future, it's pretty much London mapped in. Now from there you can go. Oh, look, I wish I could remember where Baker Street was now. This is the National Gallery with the huge statue outside. So this is quite famous. I've been in this gallery. If you ever go down to London, or if you get to go to London, always go into the galleries. Any city, big city that has one of the big galleries, get in there. Saw some amazing paintings in there. Some Canaletto. I love Canaletto paintings. Oh, it's okay. It's a hospital. Okay. Okay. So now if we go further... Oof, some of this hasn't even rendered in. I was going to try and see if I could find Piccadilly Circus. Don't know what that building is actually. Could be something financial. I love how you're giving me. I don't even know where it is. Where that is. There's the BT Tower. Okay, it's the old BT Tower. Now you can see that from pretty much everywhere. I'm pretty sure that's the old BT Tower. Good day. It's a good fly. And here is, I think, no, I thought that might be the palace. So the palace is, I thought, well, I wasn't sure where the palace was. Oh, that was the train station. I was sure that was where the palace was. Hang on a minute. Might need to go a bit higher here to have a look. No, the palace isn't that far over. There it is. Sorry, went to the wrong building. But there it is. Okay. I was thinking because you can walk from the Houses of Parliament to the palace. It's a really short walk. And there's actually now where is it? Somewhere on the way to the palace there's a place where all the soldiers train. I can't remember. It's so long ago now. It's been 20 years ago I went to London, but so I don't know why they haven't included the wall if they've included Buckingham Palace, but it's a better version of Buckingham Palace than came with a base game, definitely so. Don't know why we've got an American truck driving around outside. I don't remember this fountain having water in. Again, might be some of that's changed since I was there. Oh, it's a British Museum, okay. Yeah, I'm probably moving a bit too fast, aren't I, Julie? I should slow it down just slightly, that people can get a look. Anything else that I can kind of remember from when I was there? Let's go back over here a little bit. Now this is the old power station, and I found out that I think it was here that some of no, Apocalypse Now, no. Oh God, which movie was it? There was a movie which was set in Vietnam, and they filmed some of it here because some of its buildings were built by the same architect who built the architecture, the same type of architecture in Vietnam. So they actually used parts of the power station area. I can't remember if there's that power station or a different one, but again, my memory fades me sometimes. Okay. The colonial. Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. It's a British Museum. Okay. I don't think I went into the British Museum when I was there. That's why I was unsure, because those types of buildings are normally, when I go somewhere, I like to have a really good look at them. In this game you can't really spend too long looking at something because, although they've been rendered in quite well, they're okay. They're not amazing. Let's see. And this will be kind of going out of the main part of the city now. So I don't know if any of this has actually been fixed or anything. These parts of London, because it was just central London that was basically worked on with the mod. Or if you get up high enough, you can get the EastEnders view of the river. I'm guessing. That looks like it might have been added in. Don't know where that is though. It's not Albert Hall, is it? Could be the Albert Hall, I don't know. Nearly went to the Albert Hall once to see Harry Connick Jr., but it sold out the night before we got the tickets. Okay, so let's have a look for... Bloody hell, how many major train stations are there in London? That must be Waterloo then. Okay. So it's grating on me now that I couldn't find Piccadilly Circus. I'm sure it's somewhere over here. That must be St. Paul's Cathedral. There. Is that Piccadilly Circus area? No. That actually looks like it might be. Again, my geography is a bit thrown off because, like I said, it was so long ago that I went. I want to say that could be Harrods. It doesn't have to look a bit like it, but no, because the National Museum was really close to it, and I'd probably recognise that. So I don't know. Don't know. Oh, it was Albert Hall. Okay, so I got something right. And that doesn't half look like Harrods. This green thing here reminds me of it. But again... I know it, yeah, that's what I thought. It's near Westminster Bridge. Because I remember... The only thing I remember about Westminster Bridge was that a lot of things were in walking distance. But I can't remember which way I walked to go and see it. Because the first time we went, we used the tube to go everywhere, and then when I came home, I was looking at a map and I realised that half the time when we used the tube, it was completely unnecessary to use the tube to get where we wanted to go. And so the second time I went, and I do believe, if I'm totally honest, the second time I went to see a WWF event, and that time we didn't use the tube very much. We only used the tube when we went to it's not there, is it? We only used the tube when we went to... There it is. Okay. Found it eventually. Okay. So, we're seeing that in Watch Dogs. So, there you go. That's our Times Square. It's so small when you go there, it's crazy. I mean, to be honest with you, anywhere you visit in the world is small. When you get there, it's much smaller than you imagine, or it's distorted. Your view is so distorted. I remember when we were in New York, said to my housemate, I was just saying that every building was the Empire State Building, because if it was tall from the ground, it looked like the Empire State. It could be the Empire State Building. And then when we actually got to it, and I said that's the Empire State Building, my housemate was going, "It's really short. That's not it." And it is amazing that, because normally the photograph's like taken from this point, and something looks really, really big. Oh, didn't know you then, Rob. So let's actually try and see if we can actually find Wembley. Did you used to live in London or something, Julie? You seem to have a very good knowledge. But even somebody who lives in the city normally doesn't have that good a knowledge. So you said south and then northwest for Wembley, so I do believe... What the heck is that building there? Have I looked at that one already? Yes. Okay, and was it? So northwest would be somewhere over here. That's definitely not it. Oh, that's cricket ground. That's I wanted to say Headingley there because I used to live in Leeds. Forgot the name of the cricket ground. Okay. I love it. It's got the advertising on the pitch. Must have been an event. Alright, I didn't actually know that you lived there now. I don't know why, Julie, but I thought you lived like somewhere in the north. Not north, but I thought you lived somewhere in the north. Okay, is that Wembley there? I'm guessing it is. It can't be anywhere else. Can't be Highbury. We'll soon find out if it's got that little lane. Yeah, that's Wembley. What I was saying about Wembley before is you can always tell Wembley because it has this. Let it settle down a bit. You can always tell Wembley because it has this famous walkway up. Oh, they haven't actually done it very well. This walkway here. I mean, this goes on much longer than that, and it goes all the way down here. And normally, because my football team's been there a couple of times for cup finals, only won one, but we've been there. Well, two cup finals. We've been there, which we lost. We've been there for two playoff appearances as well, I think. And what you normally do is all the fans come in down here because the train station's somewhere around here, and then you all walk together towards the stadium. But as you get to the stadium, it files off in two different directions, and you split up, and you each go to whichever half of the stadium you're in. So they've done a pretty good job of that. The seats look a bit silly because they look massive, but okay, so that's Wembley. Now part of me's going, where's QPR? Where's QPR? When I went to London the second time, I think, for the WWF event, I actually went and visited a ton of the stadiums. And back then, football was popular, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. And if you just asked politely, normally in the reception or the caretaker or whatever, the groundsman, they would actually take you around and show you the stadium. And I remember going to Fulham Stadium and QPR Stadium, and they were really, really nice to us. Okay. Lords, that's it, yeah. Lords. So and I have nowhere. I have no. I'll be honest. I have no idea where QPR is. I can't even remember if it's off to this side of the river or I'm actually going in completely the wrong direction. QPR is Queen's Park Rangers, and they actually have that's. Oh, I don't actually know what that is. I was tempted to say that might be Fulham. That might be Fulham. That would be Fulham's old stadium. Chelsea's on the river as well, isn't it? Chelsea and I forget which other one. Chelsea's on one side of the river, and then there's another team on the other side of the river. I'm boring everybody to shit now on my footballs, looking for my football stuff, but yeah, Chelsea's on the river, but it can't be this far down, can it? Chelsea can't be this far down. That looks like a stadium that was being built. Do you know what? That looks like it could be QPS, where QPS Stadium would be. I don't know if they were having some work done it. Just the shape of it reminds me. But I couldn't say where it is. Yeah, it could be. I think it might have been. But, BBT, I don't know. Could have been. But I know Chelsea's is really close to the river. Brentford. Oh, could be. But that's kind of got me now, because I'm now thinking, where the hell is Stamford Bridge? Because it's definitely near the river, because I had to cross it. I had to cross the river when I was there, but it was a really, I seem to remember it was a really tight part of the river. Hang on, let me have a look. I'm going to have a look on Google Maps. Even see what that one was. Maps. Up the bees. And Brentford, one of the teams to start using statistics. London. Alright, if I zoom in here, let's find out what a couple of these are. So Battersea, Chelsea. Might pass. Do you know what? That might have been QPR Stadium, because it is in Hammersmith. Yeah, that one was Fulham. Right. But I don't think there's been any work done on Loftus Road. That one we saw before, that's Fulham. Right, and that area is Hammersmith. That's what it says on my map here anyway. So... so you got... All Saints Bridge is there. So that's All Saints Bridge. Yeah, and then there's a park on the right. Okay, yeah. And then ahead of that is Craven Cottage, Fulham Football Club. Okay, so that's Craven Cottage, definitely. Unfortunately, on this, it doesn't show it very well. I might switch to satellite, actually. So that's definitely Craven Cottage. Now, I want to go back up there and see if that was... let me spot it again and see if that was actually... I can't even remember how bloody far I'd flown in now. I've lost where I was. I'm just trying to think in my head where it was, but I think I've lost where it was now. Oh Christ! I'm all over the place here. Yeah, I just, because I was specifically kind of that shape just caught me, and I was like, oh, that'll be Loftus Road, but I've lost it now. I've completely lost it in more ways than one. Yeah, I can't see the shape now. We were around here somewhere. Now that one might be Brentford. That one might be Brentford. Huh. Don't know what that is. Now, I think it was when I was looking at that one I turned around and saw that shape, but now I'm totally lost. Right, okay, let me see. I'm going to actually just search QPR. Loftus Road. Loftus Road. Oh. Hang on a second. Might be this one. Yes, it is. No, that's Loftus Road. Okay. So that's QPR Stadium. But it's made up of houses because it's this. Now I'm just gonna fill my desire now, and I'm gonna look for Stamford Bridge because otherwise it's gonna drive me up the wall. Stamford Bridge, which is really close to Fulham's. That's why I'm a bit. That's why I'm like, wow, why can't I find it? Wah. Because I know when I was there that it was really close to Fulham. Okay, okay. So let's find Fulham Stadium again, which I can. It's there. I really want to know what bridge I crossed. And then, so Stamford Bridge would be across from Fulham. So you go up here somewhere. Crap, I've lost it now. Is that it? No, that's not it. Oh, you fucking idiot. Right. Right, don't change it, Swifty, just look at it. Let's do it by the road. Right, so it's... you find films. You turn a little bit. Now, any redeeming features? And the reason I'm having trouble finding it is because I do believe that it's not in the game properly. There it is. Yeah. So the game hasn't rendered it properly. But they were working on it, I think. Well, it's an aerial photo, that's why. Okay, so it hasn't even tried to build it. Okay. That's Chelsea. So why, when I went to Chelsea, I saw it from this road here. Why on earth in my head was I thinking about crossing the river? This is when you start to wonder sometimes if your memory works like you think it works. Now, I walked a long way to Stamford Bridge, so I can't say I didn't cross this bridge here and come all the way along here, because I remember it was a long walk, but I also remember seeing walking to Craven Cottage. And do you know what it was? Do you know what it was? I walked up here, and then I think I followed this road. Yeah. And then when I got to Craven Cottage, that's maybe why I was thinking about the river, but I was sure I bloody crossed it. I was sure I did. Anyway, snail building. Oh, it was. Okay, thank you, Julie. Snail building. You're all on the BBC gravy train. I wish I was. So that is London, and the computer hasn't crashed. Amazing. Don't know what that building's supposed to be. Love the traffic. Oh, what's that stadium? Another cricket ground. Well, it looks like another... Is it a cricket ground, or could it be the amphitheatre? No, it's a cricket ground, isn't it? I was going to say it could be the amphitheatre for the... It could be the amphitheatre for the Shakespeare thing, but it isn't. It's got a scoreboard there. The scoreboard doesn't show anything, but it's a bit strange, that. The oval must be. I don't know my cricket, unfortunately, at all. But I didn't even know that was there, so you live and learn. You live and learn. Right, let's go back and have a skig around the airport. Don't know what's got into him tonight. So let's go back to the airport. I'd love to give you a tour of Newcastle, but I haven't put that in the game yet. I'd give you a tour of New York, but I only gave you a tour of New York not so long ago, and it gives Alan Scar flashbacks. Took him days to get over it last time. Took him days to get over it last time. I did a tour of New York. So the airport's actually not so bad. It's quite well rendered. I love all the tugs parked up. That's pretty cool. What have we got? We've got a Luxair flight. We've got a private one. We've got KLM. Don't know if KLMs do run. I think that's a 737. That is a Beechcraft, I think. Turboprop there. Got the old DHL delivery. And a British Airways 737. There's a blast wall there. And this is where all the buses are parked and everything. It's amazing, isn't it? It just blows my mind. Right, we're going to have a look at one last place which I want to show you around a little bit, but I don't know a lot about it myself. And that is Boise, Idaho. Now, I went there years ago, and Idaho is said to be one of the most beautiful places in America. I don't know if what I saw of it was the most beautiful, but it was a pretty nice place. So I'm gonna go with Boise City Airport because I'm guessing it's gonna be, if it's Boise City, it's gonna be in Boise. So let's go back to the world map. I'll just make sure we are landing in Boise and we're not. Boise City. You know what? I'm going to double check. What else have we got around? We've got Denver. No, then that is not in Boise, Idaho. So it's a good job I didn't go there. Right, hang on. Thanks for the subscription, by the way, Southwest 1972. If you're watching, come by and say hello in the chat. I don't know if you're watching or not. I just noticed that you got it, that you have joined the stream. 31 minutes ago. Idaho. Well, the thing is, I can't do Moab Ellitzgar because it's going to be in my next part of my next Discovery Series 1, so I don't want to do. I didn't want to do that area specifically. Let's have a look. So, Boise, Idaho, nearest airport. Now, I can. I'll do a tour of Salt Lake City at some point as well, because my. Right, Boise Air Terminal, or Gowan Field. Let's see if we can find it under Gowan Field first. Gower Field. No, Gowan Field. Gowan. There we go. And yes, okay. So we'll go fly that. So, what was I going to say about... So, yeah, about Salt Lake City. I'm going to do a flight which goes from Southern California, Santa Monica, I think, and then flies up to... cripes, can't think. I'll load it up. The next time we go to the world map, I'll load it up, Ellisgar, and I'll tell you. But it'll take us through Moab, it will take us through the Grand Canyon. It is going to be the longest one, so it's probably going to be Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. It might go through the two, because it's a really, really long one. But as far as I'm aware, it's probably the best one. So we'll see. But yeah. And there's some mods being done for it at the moment. They're in the process of being made, so I want to do it once those mods are finished, because they'll add to what the experience will already be. So where is Valley of the Gods?
Boise Tower, ineffectual gamer 907, ready for departing straight out at runway 28 right. Ineffectual gamer 907, cleared for takeoff runway 28 right, departing straight out approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 28 right.
I don't know what all this rocking's going on. It never used to do this as much as it is now. I'm not sure if it's just your plane getting set or something. It's really strange. Look at it. It's rocking away. And you could blame it on the wind, but there's no wind. And they've had issues with this, with rocking. Right, so you're gonna have to give me a second to get my bearings, because I only went to Boise once, and it was a long time ago. So this flatness here goes all the way, I think, in that direction down there. I think it's that way towards Utah, and you just drive in the flat for ages. But then these mountains come up, and they're really, really nice. Alright, so I'll be flying up through there as well. Oscar. So the first thing I want to show you, and you can immediately see it because it's off colour, is this stadium here. This is the university football team, and the Boise State Broncos. I actually came to see a bowl game here, a college bowl game, between Virginia Cavaliers and Fresno State Bulldogs. And their field is blue. They're the only team that are allowed to have a blue field. It should be green by regulation. I can't remember the reason why they're allowed it to be blue. But they are the only team that's been given permission. I actually sat here, just below this. I know it's going to clip, so there's not a lot I can do about that. But I'll tell you why I think this is so cool, is because this actually really looks like it did when I was there. So I was sat like kind of about there, right? You have to understand, you sat there. Actually, I think I was sat a little bit further along, probably about here, if I remember. Yeah, and there was actually a TV screen. Well, there's this TV screen here, but in reality it was much bigger. So I don't know if they just brought it in for the bowl game or whatnot. And it kind of played songs and stuff in the intervals and whatnot. But what got me was when the national anthem was being played, and the huge stealth bomber came over here and came over the stadium just as the anthem was finishing, and then flew off towards the mountains there. And I remember, you know, that thing of, because I always, when I'm in America and they're doing the national anthem, sometimes it's a little, I don't mean to say it in a bad way, Ellisgar, but it's a bit weird. I know we sing the national anthem in the UK, or in Scotland they sing Flower of Scotland, and in Wales they sing The Leaks Will Live Forever. I don't know what their national anthem actually is. Something like that. But I know in the UK people sing the national anthem, but they don't sing it with the way, or in the way that the Americans sing it. And we certainly don't often have, like, we'll maybe have the red arrows, but they don't. They always have like their best airplanes, so it's a show of force, you know. Um, but when you see all these people like standing up and singing the anthem, then suddenly these huge planes come over, planes that you'll never see in your life unless they're bombing you. It's pretty spectacular, but it's weird as well. It feels very strange to watch and to be a part of. And you never know whether to stand up, 'cause it's not my country. So you're like, should I stand up? Do I put my hand on my heart? It's not my country. So it's just one of those strange feelings, you know. Ireland, 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 Guinness, Guinness, Guinness. And then somebody's up downtown Boise, which is really strange because I saw this building when I was there. It's the Capitol building. Most cities have a Capitol building like this, and the architecture is supreme. I mean, they went all out on these buildings when they originally built them. Probably lots of people went hungry. And then this is the famous Boise City Centre. This is where it's rocking. This is where the party never stops. And I went to a restaurant right on the corner there. I remember walking like through these trees. And I think it was Boxing Day the day I went there. So yeah, whoever did this only put these few buildings into Boise. But it all matters. I think that when you fly over somewhere, these are the places you want to see. You'll stand or be beaten. Well, that's the thing. But, you know, should I be standing for somebody else's national anthem? My country might deem that inappropriate for me to stand for somebody else's national anthem. You know? I don't know. You never know. You don't know. You know, would I expect you to stand for my national anthem? I don't think I would. Would I be annoyed if you stood up for it? I don't know. I don't really do national anthems. Okay, so I'll show you the flight route for when I do it. For when I do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure you can't see my porn folder. So desktop. Damn it, it's on my porn folder. That says poker, not porn. Okay, plans. No, not flight plans. It is Voyager. That's the one. Flight plans. Okay, and it's gonna be. Must be that one. It's not the Vegas one. I hope I haven't accidentally deleted one of them. Oh my god. I hope I haven't. I'm a bit concerned now. Can I have a look at... You don't need a porn folder these days. Right, hang on a second. It's not the one in the Alps, it's not the Area 51, it's not Florida, it's not Gold Coast, not that one. New Zealand, oh my god. I think I might have accidentally deleted it. Just give me a second. If I've deleted it, I'm a total idiot. Saved flight plans. No, it's not in there. What about in my regular flight plans folder? No. Right, let's just check the Area 51 one. But I think that's my flight plan. It's not the Canaries, it's not the Alps, it's not Florida, it's not the Gold Coast. Niagara, no. It's not the New Zealand one, and it's not the... It could be the Vegas one. It might pass through Vegas. Oh, cripes. Music just stopped. I might have just lost the game. Oh, I think I just lost the game. Well, I can load it back up. Let's have a look. Let's close that one down. Have you got a black screen? Yeah. I don't know why the game crashed there. For it to crash on the main screen is really weird. Scots. Oh, don't start Scottish English battle on the stream, please. Right, just give us a second, people. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds to close itself down, and I'll rig it back up. I'm guessing there was too much on it going on for it to stay up. I knew it might close down at some point. Let's check the temps on my. Oh, it's definitely not the graphics card temperature, because that's fine. Right. Yeah, well, it's made by Asobo Studios, so I'm guessing that's why it just crashed. And it does have a tendency, like the game isn't designed to have multiple flights and stuff. It's just simply not designed to have so many flights, so you have to kind of make do with what you've got in it. The worrying thing is I haven't even. Ah, there we go. I've got the black screen. That's a good start. Okay, that's a good start for me. So Julie, you work with things that kill people. When do you think this pandemic's going to be over? I've just got to check the Catalan news because I'm gonna go crazy if the Spain set for second state of alarm as Catalonia sees daily record of 6,000 COVID cases. Yeah, well, everybody was playing around this weekend like it was a party. So, what more do they expect? It's really long load up, people. I do apologise for this. Is she? She wants feeding. That's what it is. So we've got a night curfew. Fucking night curfew. What do we do at night? I'm in the bloody house. It's not going to stop anything. A fucking night curfew. I love it. Right, so the reason they're doing the night curfew is they're trying to blame the COVID rise on young people, basically. It's what the government are doing. Oh, it's nothing to do with us, it's young people. They're getting together and partying. Now, that is partly the problem, but it's also the fact that they can't do their jobs properly. And yes, it is partly the young people, but a night curfew isn't going to solve that. They'll just drink in the morning and afternoon. I mean, they're not stupid. So, Spain braces for the second state of alarm as President Pedro Sanchez called an emergency cabinet meeting on Sunday to discuss the measure, which Catalonia and other regional governments believe will grant them the emergency powers needed to impose more restrictive measures amid skyrocketing coronavirus numbers. So, they were saying a couple of months ago, Pedro Sanchez is a joke, he can't do anything, so we need power given back to us. So he said, okay, you make up your own rules. And then, now they're complaining. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So they were blaming him, and now it's gone through the roof. Now they're saying, oh, well, he's not doing enough. And now he's going to give them their own powers, or the emergency powers, the national emergency powers, so that, well, I guess under his name they'll be able to put things into place. But like I say, a couple of months ago, they were saying that he should get his nose out and they can control it themselves, and they couldn't. Now, I know that a few people who have had friends and stuff who are really ill at the moment, so I know that it's not a joke. On Friday evening, the Catalan government joined other Spanish regions in calling for a state of alarm. They were saying the state of alarm was unconstitutional when it was in place before, over concerns that courts could prevent them from imposing a night curfew, that's nothing, and other measures just limiting freedom of movement. So, Catalan officials have announced plans to restrict mobility from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because that's when we're all chilling outside, people. Of course, you know. So it will not. That will make a zero difference. For example, my town is the worst hit in the whole of Catalonia. It was the last to pick up a case. I think I won the last place to pick up a case, but it's now one of the worst places apparently. Again, you come into this town at 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. There's nobody around. So, a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew serves nothing. More restrictive measures like to stay-at-home orders and closing schools are also on the table according to the Catalan government. Though closing the schools would work, but they have to make sure that this doesn't just keep on breaking out every time the kids go back to school. Now, not wanting to be too much of a grass, but when the schools first went back, it was all taken very seriously. However, I don't understand why I've been able to continue the way I work because, yeah, what if you work at those times? Yeah, you're done. Well, you'll probably be alright to move around a little bit, I think. When I first started, the schools all took it very, very seriously, and, you know, but then I was able to go into schools and kind of break the bubbles, and I don't understand why I was able to do that. Then, the schools just seem to get more and more and more relaxed. But the cases were going up, so they shouldn't have, and they should have known not to be so relaxed. And now it looks like they might try and close them again, so... Okay, so it doesn't really... there's not many... I mean, you can see, when you look at the graphs, you can see very openly that when the kids went back to school, it went crazy. Right, where were... Oh yeah, I was going to load that flight map up. And I was going to load the Nevada one, I think it was. So let's have a look. Load. No, not documents. Desktop, you divvy. Desktop. It was the Voyager one. And then there's Las Vegas. But I think this is the one I planned. Area 51. Ah, no. Please don't crash again. Huh. Which one did I just load up? Area 51. Right, I'm not going to go through the whole loading process again because it takes forever. I think I'm probably going to end the stream in a couple of minutes. But, well, I just wanted to show you the route, Elazgar, but I'll try and get that sorted out and see why it's crashing it, because I have no idea why it's crashing it. When I select the Area 51 one, doesn't quite make sense as to why. But, anywho, it's been a good stream. I've really enjoyed it today. It was nice just having a bit of a buzz about the cities and look at some stuff. As I said, this Discovery series is probably going to be either weekly or bi-weekly, stuff like that, because I've been live like nearly 4 hours, so it's probably going to be like bi-weekly or weekly, depending on whether it's a short trip or a long trip. But the idea is to go out and discover some of the places. The thing is my potato PC doesn't really show everything in its beauty. Like I said, if you go now and search for the video, actually I'll link it in the chat now. Let me just look for it on here, because I was watching it earlier, so it'll show up in my watch list. If you just go back and look at this in its beautiful, even if you haven't got 4K, if you just look at this Microsoft Flight Sim North America, you'll just see how beautiful it is. And I honestly say, if you have a PC that's half decent, get this game, because you can go anywhere and see anything almost. I think it's amazing, and I haven't even I haven't even started yet. I haven't started, bro. I haven't even started. There you go. Anchor what on the list? What? Anchor what? Don't even know if that's a thing. Is that a thing? I have to search it on YouTube. I don't know whether you're being silly or not. Oh no, okay. It's actually a place. I thought you were trying to say something else. Yep, probably. I mean, if it's in the game in any way, shape, or form, I will try and visit it. I know that somebody was working on Machu Picchu as well. Thought that would be pretty cool. Things like Everest, K2, there'll be a mountain tour at some point as well. Well, do a mountain tour. So, you know, there's loads and loads of stuff on. Oh, Julie, Julie, did you go away for a minute? Because I was asking you. Ah, okay. Pandemic's over when everybody's dead when the vaccine gets rolled out. Okay, yeah, that's what I assumed your answer would be. So, no, I never played the civilian games or anything. I know what it is actually because it wasn't it in Mortal Kombat the movie? Didn't they use it as the backdrop? I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure that's where they filmed a lot of it. Do you remember that movie? That was a great movie. I came out karate kicking all my friends. I didn't know that I was 18 at the time. Or I don't think I was 18 with Mortal Kombat. I think it was one of those. I think it was made by that guy. Was it made by that guy from Newcastle? Oh God, I have to look it up on IMDb now. This is my life, people, looking stuff up on IMDb. Because I watch movies and I'm like, I know him, he's from that film, and then like it'll be somebody who's played a second part, a bit part in a movie 35 years ago, and for some reason I remember them. 1995 it was, so I was 7. No, I was 17. No, I wasn't. 1995. I was 15. Do you know? Do you know we're what was it? We're closer to 2050 than we are 1990. It's fucking scary. Yeah, it was done by Paul W.S. Anderson, who I hate for two reasons. Number one, because he's a Geordie. That's the main, that's the main reason I hate him, because he's a Geordie. And then the second reason I hate him is because he's married to Mila Jokovic. So, you know, there's no justice, people. There's no justice in this world. You do realise that. Zero justice. But, there you go. Yeah, so, just no justice. And, I don't know, the guy's movies are all kind of... Didn't he make the newer version of Piranha as well, I think? I think he might have been involved in that. Well, I should be happy that a northerner has made it in this world and has made some pretty famous films. I think he was involved in Death Race, Alien vs Predator, Event Horizon. That one wasn't too bad. It was weird, but it wasn't too bad. And he was famous for making Shopping as well. It's very old now. So, okay, people, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm sorry I couldn't load back in and show you a couple of other things, but like I said, sometimes this game it's just a bit iffy, and I need to find out why that flight plan crashes the game. I don't know whether I need to run it through a different. I might run it through a secondary flight planner and then resave it and hopefully get it working that way, because I have no idea why it just crashes the game flat. Loading a flight plan should not crash the game at all, unless it's got some points or something that it can't follow. However, if I can't get it to load up, I'll make the flight plan myself, because I actually do have the course and the points that it passes over, so I'll be able to create it myself anyway, and we'll VFR it. Okay, people, so I'll say good evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you sometime midweek as usual. When I get one night to myself, I'll drop in and stream something, even if it's nothing. And then next week I'll be back with a bit more Flight Simulator. Okay, people, good evening. See you later.